Chapter 1369. Fairy Jean was stunned. Su Yan's primordial spirit had almost reached the level of an immortal Tao cultivator. He had even mastered the ultimate primordial spirit heavenly skill, the Sutra of Future. How does primordial spirit become so powerful all of a sudden? He has just reached the immortal realm a few years ago, but the strength of his primordial spirit in the extraterritorial space, the experts of the Xian people were shocked. They clearly remembered that Su Yan had not displayed such outstanding primordial spirit strength when he fought with Xian Honda on the Emperor Road battle platform. However, in just a few days, Su Yan's primordial spirit strength was already on par with an immortal Tao cultivator. Wasn't this a little too ridiculous? Even among the outstanding experts of the Xian people's younger generation, there were only a handful who had such a strong primordial spirit. These people were all peerless geniuses of the immortal heavenly domain. They had used up rare resources on the path to strengthening their primordial spirits. However, how could the resource-poor Xianhuang universe allow Su Yan's primordial spirit to reach such a level? This variable was too big. Could it be related to the Emperor Board? However, the Emperor Board would not give Su Yan the resources to strengthen his primordial spirit. Boom! There was a loud explosion. It was as if a bolt of lightning had struck the void, and soul ripples were emitted. Fairy Jin's primordial spirit was strong. However, he had broken through the Xianhuang seal, and his primordial spirit was also severely damaged. He was not at his peak. I don't believe I can't suppress a little thing's primordial spirit. Fairy Jean growled. Even if his primordial spirit was not at its peak, he did not believe that Su Yan could withstand the primordial spirit attack of an immortal Tao cultivator. Billowing and vast soul fluctuations suddenly burst forth. Wave after wave, they drowned the sky and rippled with terrifying soul light. However, no matter how violent the primordial spirit storm was, it could not touch Su Yan's primordial spirit. It was as if they were separated by an era. It was impossible to touch. This was the Sutra of Future. It was as if he was sitting in the future, invulnerable. Bastard. Fairy Jin's eyes turned red. How could this be? He had circulated his strongest primordial spirit attack, but he was still unable to harm Su Yan's primordial spirit. This result caused him to panic. That's right, he was panicking because his body was continuously deteriorating, the power of reincarnation seeping into his blood and bones, affecting the qi and blood in his body, quickly drying up, his entire body on the verge of collapse, about to fall head first onto the ground. Hurry up and get out of here. On the other two battlefields, Fairy Jin's crisis made the two ruined immortals try their best to revive their primordial spirit energy, intending to break through their blockade. Once the three ruined immortals gathered their power, forget about the 9 undying beings. Even this killing formation would collapse. It's impossible to pass. Bao Kai let out a ferocious roar. It definitely couldn't let the broken immortal break through the seal. In fact, from the beginning of the battle until now, Yi Yuan and the others had not fought with the two great remnant immortals at close range. They were very clear that with their primordial spirit state, they had the means to kill them. Moreover, even if they had strong primordial spirits, it would be difficult to collide with a ruined immortal's body, unless they had the strength of Su Yan's body. Demons subduing Pestle and 9 Dragon Seal. The two treasures shone, sprinkling down a stream of light, setting up layers of seals, isolating the soul attack of the two ruined immortals, sealing off the entire space-time. But at the same time, they were also affected, their eyes turning black. The old monster's primordial spirit fluctuation is too strong. We must not let them break through the seal, otherwise our primordial spirits will be scattered. The old leader turned pale with fright. Once they broke through the defense, the consequences would be unimaginable. In the heaven-imprisoning dragon-locking formation, the battle became even more intense. The energy fluctuations spread out like stormy waves, colliding with the killing formation's field shaking. In fact, if not for the killing formation isolating the battle energy, this battle would have caused serious damage to the mysterious yellow universe. Old thing, let's see what other tricks you have. Su Yan rushed forward, choosing to fight him in close combat. Su Yan's other doppelganger wielded the 36 immortal pearls and also attacked. B** starred. No one has ever forced me to this step. Fairy Jean, whose body was in decline, roared angrily. His blood-stained body shone, sending out the sound of scriptures. It was majestic and vast, as if the scriptures passed down from the heavens had evolved into real immortal characters, which could easily suppress the universe. Fairy Jean went crazy, operating the immortal Tao scriptures to increase his combat strength. He rushed forward to fight with Su Yan. Su Yan knew very well that this kind of person was not so easy to kill, so he would not take the risk. He believed that if this continued, Fairy Jean would definitely not be able to withstand the decline of his body. Moreover, Su Yan was constantly affecting him with the secret reincarnation technique. In the heaven-imprisoning dragon-locking formation, the battle became more and more intense, and everyone began to fight with their lives. This scene made Xian Huiyu's face gloomy. She said, "I'm going down. These elders don't have much lifespan left, and their blood and qi are dried up. Now, they're just a few ruined immortals. I'm afraid they can't do anything big." Now, they had no choice but to accept this cruel reality. Su Yan and the others were very likely to turn the tables. Some Xian people's hearts were bleeding. They had paid such a huge price, but they were stopped by 9 immortals. If this news spread, it would be a great humiliation. After all, 7 immortal Tao experts had killed their way in, and now, only 3 ruined immortals had survived. Hearing this, Xian Tairan was silent for a while, and then said coldly, "Wait a little longer. The immortal Tao experts are risking their lives to fight back, and there is a high chance of suppressing them. Now is not the time to take the risk again." Xian Huiyu could not wait any longer. She was confident that she could rush into Xianwang. Although she would be seriously injured, she was definitely much stronger than Fairy Jean and the other 2. The entire Xianwang universe was nervously watching. The battle had reached the most critical moment, and the 3 ruined immortals had begun to fight with their lives. Suppress. The 8 immortals' auras were violent, and they used all their strength to activate the 2 supreme treasures, suppressing the 2 ruined immortals. They could not panic. Once they did, the consequences would be very serious. This battle was related to the survival of the entire Xianhuang universe, and they could not retreat. Kill. Stop them. Don't retreat. The entire battlefield was surging with energy. The 8 great experts burned their life force to fight against the 2 ruined immortals. On the other side of the battlefield, the 2 Su Yan joined forces, and they pushed the formation marks all over the sky to attack Fairy Jean. The weakened Fairy Jean was like an injured beast. Her hair was disheveled, and her ruined body ignited the light of the immortal Tao. The tyrannical power of the immortal Tao bloomed, and it could easily change heaven and earth, shattering the formation marks all over the sky. She charged at Su Yan. "Kill!" Su Yan roared. The 2 Su Yan erupted at the same time, and their bodies crossed the sky to attack Fairy Jean. Su Yan's 2 incarnations went berserk. The 36 immortal pearls suppressed his ruined body, and Su Yan's fist landed on his chest, creating a loud sound. Originally, it was really difficult for Su Yan to injure Fairy Jean's body. However, due to the influence of the secret reincarnation technique, his damaged immortal body had deteriorated. This punch had caused his ribs to shatter and blood to spurt out. The second incarnation waved his palm and slapped Fairy Jean's shoulder, almost taking off one of his arms. Roar! Fairy Jean roared, and her ruined body rose with immortal light. She also hit Su Yan's body, but her energy loss was getting more and more serious. Su Yan had 36 immortal pearls protecting him, and it was difficult for her to break the defense of this set of immortal Tao treasures. "What are you screaming for? Go in peace," Su Yan shouted coldly. Fairy Jin's physical strength was almost exhausted, and her energy was almost exhausted. It was difficult for her to threaten Su Yan. "I have my own methods to kill you," Fairy Jean angrily rebuked. His blood-soaked body shone, and the sound of an ocean flowed out from his flesh shell. This was his blood flowing, covering the entire flesh shell. Moreover, as it burned, his entire body erupted with terrifying immortal splendor. Immortal blood, indestructible technique. Fairy Jean evolved an earth-shattering, great mystical power. She burned the energy in her blood and returned it to her corporeal body, causing her ruined body to burn brightly. It even pushed her declining essence blood to erupt towards the peak of her life. Su Yan's expression was solemn, and the two incarnations stood in the void. The 36 immortal pearls of the great Tao also surrounded Su Yan in an array, releasing the light of the great Tao. When the 36 great Tao energies merged, it gave birth to the order of the immortal Tao, as if opening up a path to immortality. Boom! This immortal Tao treasure was much stronger. 36 great Taos intertwined, forming a path to immortality. Su Yan ascended the path to immortality. He looked up to the sky and roared. His immortal aura surged, as if an immortal emperor had descended. Su Yan felt that he had the combat strength of a true immortal. With a raise of his hand, his magic power was overwhelming. This treasure, how is it possible? 36 great Taos. Could it be a supreme immortal treasure refined from 36 immortal Taos? Xian Tai's face paled. What kind of treasure was this? How could it be so special? His words made Xian Huayu's eyes turn red. He killed 36 true immortals, extracted their immortal Taos, and refined them into 36 pearls? If that was the case, the 36 immortal pearls' original form would definitely not be this strong. However, Su Yan's strength was limited, and he couldn't unleash its strongest state. Su Yan seemed to have the combat strength of a true immortal. Every move was surging with supreme power, accompanied by the power of the immortal Tao. 36 layers of immortal Tao energy surged and exploded, instantly attacking Fairy Jean. Fairy Jin's aura was getting stronger and stronger. However, Su Yan's sudden awakening caused Fairy Jin's broken body to tremble. The vigorous aura in her body evaporated instantly, and she flew out like a dead dog. Uffed. Fairy Jean spat out a mouthful of blood. Her eyes were filled with shock. What kind of treasure was this? It could allow Su Yan to temporarily gain supreme combat strength. Kill! Su Yan roared. He raised his fist and attacked, looking extremely powerful. Because Su Yan didn't have much time, once he entered this state, his life would be in danger. It was equivalent to forcefully guiding the immortal Tao through his body. If not for the second awakening of his body, Su Yan wouldn't have been able to guide the immortal Tao into his body. Do you think I can't stop you? Fairy Jean cried out miserably. The immortal blood in her body burned again, returning to her body, stimulating her dried-up blood and chi to become stronger again. When Su Yan descended from the sky, he raised his fist and attacked the future. Fairy Jean suffered another heavy injury. Her entire body was trembling, and large cracks appeared. Blood poured down like a waterfall. She was in so much pain that she wished she was dead. She couldn't bear it. She couldn't bear it at all. Go to hell. Su Yan rushed forward, drew his universe weapon, and slashed forward. The immortal slaying sword was unleashed. Su Yan's strongest power was activated, and the killing sword pierced through time and space. It was extremely fast. From this moment onwards, Fairy Jean finally understood what Xian Hondo was facing. The immortal slaying sword. Before the sword arrived, his broken soul was trembling and wailing. It was as if he was imprisoned in purgatory, and he was in so much pain that he wished he was dead. Heaven punishing, his pupils were still filled with fear. He recognized the origin of Su Yan's Sword Tao inheritance. However, he didn't have the chance to say it. Su Yan pierced through his forehead, and his broken soul was cut in half. Chapter 1370. Fairy Jin's head exploded. Flesh and blood smashed into the void, creating a loud rumbling sound. This scene was shocking. This was an immortal Tao powerhouse, and with such a serious loss, she was also a crippled immortal. Su Yin was only an immortal realm powerhouse, but Fairy Jean was chopped alive by him. Her flesh and blood flew everywhere, smashing through layers of the void. The scene was quite tragic. Her head was shattered, and her soul was also cut off by Su Yan's sword. Who could survive? In fact, many people thought that Fairy Jean was not completely dead. This kind of character was too shocking, and their cultivation was extremely high. Maybe they had some other method to reconstruct the severed head. Sure enough, people were shocked to find that Fairy Jean's broken body suddenly stood up. Even her head was gone, but Fairy Jean still crawled up. Quickly kill her while she's weak. Baokai was shocked and shouted. Mysterious Yellow Universe's powerhouses were all shouting. As long as they could get rid of one crippled immortal, Su Yan would be free. Then, the other two crippled immortals would not be a problem. After all, Baokai and the others had stabilized the battlefield, trapping the two crippled immortals. However, things went beyond their expectations. The broken body that stood up struggled violently for a few times and then began to tremble. Thick blood flowed out from her pores. Even the vitality in her body began to decline, weakened, and soon she was completely still. Bam! In the end, the headless crippled immortal fell down. Her fingers trembled a few times, and then there was no more vitality. Dead. Xian Tyron's expression changed. Fairy Jean died, killed by Su Yan? Her head exploded. It was impossible for this to threaten Fairy Jin's life. With her strength and the vigorous power of the immortal blood, she could still reconstruct her head and fight with Su Yan. But the result was unbearable for them. Fairy Jean died, her head shattered, and there was no soul fluctuation at all. This meant that her soul was destroyed by Su Yan's sword. What kind of sword art was this? Why was it so sharp that it could even destroy the soul of an immortal Tao powerhouse with one sword? Bastard! What a disgrace! The Xian people roared angrily. Their eyes almost popped out of their sockets. They were so angry that their lungs were about to explode and the veins on their bodies were bulging. Fairy Jean, the ancestor of the Xian people, died at the hands of an undying being. If news of this spread out, the Xian people would lose a lot of face. An undying being had defied the heavens and killed a crippled immortal. If news of this spread out, Su Yan's ferocious reputation would also skyrocket. Huff, huff. Su Yan panted heavily as he recovered from the state. The 36 great Tao immortal pearls also regained their composure. However, he was exhausted and sweating profusely. He was even about to completely degenerate from the state of one chi into 3 pure ones. I cannot fall. Su Yan's expression was malevolent, his fists clenched tightly. He had to get through this. Fairy Jean had already fallen. As long as he recovered, the remaining 2 great ruined immortals were nothing to worry about. Su Yan pounced forward like a hungry wolf. He raised his hand and grabbed Fairy Jin's broken body. Su Yan's palm glowed, and the profound meaning of the body-nourishing art surged out, affecting Fairy Jin's broken body. Although the ruined immortal's life force had withered, and his vital signs had dissipated, there was still a small amount of energy left in his body. After all, he was an immortal path elite, and the energy nourished in his body was also quite impressive. Su Yan swallowed fiercely. The energy was extracted by him and flowed along Su Yan's arm into his body. In an instant, Su Yan was about to explode. After all, he was an immortal path elite, and his energy was very domineering. Who would dare to swallow this energy directly? Su Yan roared, his eyes wide open. The profound meaning of all creation flowed out of his body, refining any energy for his use, even the energy of the immortal path. This lunatic, Xian Huiyu, really went crazy from anger. He even dared to seize the energy of an immortal path elite, turning her into a tonic. This was a great humiliation. Su Yan's 2 incarnations shone at the same time, blazing like a great furnace. He refined this lump of immortal path energy, extracting the life essence from it to replenish Su Yan's losses. His current state didn't allow him to continue fighting. He had to quickly recover. Bastard, Fairy Jean was actually killed. The other two ruined immortals were about to explode from anger. If she died, then she died. However, Su Yin was seizing Fairy Jin's life essence to nourish her lost energy. These two old things have gone crazy. They have gone crazy. Bao Kai cried out in alarm. He used the power of the Nine-Dragon Seal to suppress the berserk ruined immortals. The two ruined immortals' eyes turned red. Once they died, their fates would be the same as Fairy Jin's, reduced to tonic. They were immortal path experts, so how could they be reduced to the enemy's tonic? Moreover, it was a group of immortal realm cultivators. Hold them back from me. The miser screamed. The 8 immortal path experts released their most powerful strength, maintaining the operation of the 2 supreme treasures. They definitely couldn't let them break through. As long as Su Yin was given time to recover, they would definitely win this battle. Father, Xian Huiyu was anxious. If they didn't go down, they would be completely finished. Even if the Xian people sent experts down, they would still have to pay a great price. The Xian people couldn't afford to waste time. They really couldn't afford to waste time. If he, Xian Huiyu, came down now, he would definitely be able to sweep through these seriously damaged, undying beings. Otherwise, once they were given the chance to grow, these 9 immortal path experts would definitely become more and more powerful. At that time, it would be even more difficult to keep them in check. You can go. Xian Tyron's expression was gloomy. He raised his hand, and an entirely black battle armor also floated out. The black battle armor was simple and unadorned, and its color was dim. However, Xian Huiyu knew very well that this was Xian Tyron's strongest immortal path armor. It had accompanied him throughout his life. With this armor protecting him, he would have a greater chance of success. The family has brought a total of 2 world-breaking decrees. This is the last one. Also, the few of you should prepare to come down with Xian Huiyu. Another patriarch took out a decree. This thing was too valuable. A world-breaking decree would fetch a sky-high price in an auction. If it wasn't for the seal of the Xianhuang universe, they wouldn't have brought 2 world-breaking decrees. We, the other immortal path experts, smiled bitterly. The other immortal Dao experts smiled bitterly. They didn't have powerful treasures to protect themselves. Once they entered the lower realm, they would most likely face the risk of death. They were still young, and they were unwilling to go down. No need. Xian Tyran shook his head and said, in this battle, 5 of the 7 immortal path experts have already fallen. I won't be able to report back to the family. We can't lose any more. But another patriarch frowned. Just as he was about to speak, he saw Xian Tyran open his mouth and spit out 3 mouthfuls of life essence. Father, Xian Huiyu's expression changed. The 3 mouthfuls of life essence greatly damaged Xian Tyran's aura, and he aged dozens of years in an instant. This was his life essence. There were 3 mouthfuls of life essence, and they instantly turned into 3 Dao flowers that fell on top of Xian Huiyu's head. They bloomed with terrifying Dao light, making him look peerless and shocking. Each Dao light was like a miniature version of Xian Tyran. There was no need to mention how powerful their auras were. They were like 3 immortal path experts, boundless and majestic. Xian Tyran closed his eyes. The 3 mouthfuls of life essence had cost him many years of cultivation. It was equivalent to breaking his own arms. His aura was greatly damaged, and he fell straight down. He knew very well that if Xian Huiyu didn't have a powerful force to protect himself, the chances of him breaking the seal were slim. This was the child he was most proud of. He definitely couldn't die in the small Xianhuang universe. Although the 3 mouthfuls of life essence were a great loss to him, he could still recover after hundreds of years of hard work. No, this thing is harmful to Father. Then Xian Huiyu was stunned. That was because Xian Tyran took out another item. It was a small golden person that looked like a special battle puppet. The golden person seemed to be made of immortal path, true gold. It looked almost identical to Xian Tyran. Although it wasn't too strong, it posed a fatal threat to the immortal path experts present. What was that? They were shocked. This thing, Another ancestor was extremely shocked. He really didn't expect Xian Tairan to have such a thing. This thing was too precious. It was equivalent to his second life. Xian Huiyu knew very well that this was the strongest treasure that Xian Tairan was proud of. It was equivalent to his second life. With this thing protecting me, even if there are other immortal path experts in the Xianhuang universe, it's enough to kill them all, Xian Tairan said coldly. Remember not to act rashly unless it's a critical moment. Do you understand? I must suppress the entire Xianhuang universe and ask for credit for father. Xian Huiyu's eyes were cold as he directly descended. The calm seal of the Xianhuang universe once again churned, and a storm rolled. You're too impatient. Su Yan was furious. Do they want to invade and occupy the Xianhuang universe so badly? They want to kill us so badly, but we can't let them do as they wish. Su Yan's eyes shone with a cold light. This time, the one descending wasn't an expert with a withered lifespan. Instead, it was Xian Huiyu, who was in his prime and had the power of the Xian people's ancestors protecting him. In the vast Xianhuang universe, the laws were like the sea. The power of killing evolved, and the illusory image of the celestial emperor's war flag appeared. Ha ha! Our world's experts are descending again. Let's see how you're going to stop them. The two remnant immortals laughed. Once Xian Huiyu successfully descended, he would definitely be much stronger than them. Immortal realm experts wouldn't be able to stop Xian Huiyu at all. Then you'll die. A cold voice sounded, and a figure rose from a corner of the battlefield. Su Yan roared. His killing intent spread and reverberated throughout the battlefield. Boom! Boom! The two figures were like comets crashing through the sky. The instant they struck, two large cracks appeared in the void. The two clones rampaged like gods and demons that had broken their shackles and charged out from hell. They were filled with shocking, killing intent. Su Yan's aura soared to the limit. The sky was filled with energy storms. His aura was powerful as he attacked the two remnant immortals. Kill! In the two battlefields, the 8 immortal realm experts instantly launched their strongest attacks. The moment Su Yan joined the battle, a total of 10 immortal realm experts attacked the two remnant immortals with all their might. The scene on the battlefield was terrifying. Heaven and earth were bleeding, and the sun and moon were wailing. This battle also burned the power of the killing formation. The overwhelming energy source suppressed the two remnant immortals. Roar! The two remnant immortals were also roaring. Xian Huiyu was about to arrive. As long as they could endure it, they could win. None of you will be able to survive. Xian Huiyu, who was descending, noticed the changes here. His face was ferocious. Su Yan and the others were almost crazy. They wanted to kill the two remnant immortals before Xian Huiyu arrived. Xian Huiyu's process was not easy. He was suppressed by the celestial Thearcha's war flag again and again. Every time it was suppressed, a Dao flower would collapse. The 3 Dao flowers could not withstand a few attacks at all, and all exploded. The battle armor she wore ignited, surging with terrifying fluctuations. It blocked the endless waves of murderous energy. In the end, she endured it and rushed into heaven-earth. The armor she wore was also destroyed. Her entire body was dyed red with blood. Her injuries were serious, and she vomited blood. Her aura was declining rapidly. But even so, Xian Huiyu was strong enough. The smell of blood stimulated Su Yan's killing intent to surge. Kill him! Bao Kai roared and used the 9-dragon seal with all his strength. The moment the seal flipped, it suppressed the remnant immortal. Kill! Su Yan roared and punched through the chest of the second remnant immortal. He even spread his arms and tore him in half. Blood rained down from the sky. The second remnant immortal was killed. The 5 undying beings were bathed in blood. Their figures crossed the broken void and charged towards the third battlefield. No! The third remnant immortal roared in grief. They all had their hands free. The 10 undying beings attacked together. Their battle strength was too terrifying. Kacha! His body was smashed into pieces by the demon's subduing pestle. and the top of his head was shattered by the nine-dragon seal. Su Yin slashed and cut the third remnant immortal in half. I want my incarnation to return and awaken my main body to fight. The rest is up to you guys. You must hold on until I return. I will think of a way to trap her and delay her coming to the lower realm. Su Yan's figure soared into the sky. The strongest power of the two incarnations surged and charged towards Xian Huiyu. Chapter 1371. The three remnant immortals were killed one after another. The nine undying beings stood proudly like nine gods of war, guarding Xianhuang. Just as Xianhuang universe was about to explode, Xian Huiyu arrived. She had successfully descended to the lower realm. Although she was heavily injured, her aura was greatly damaged, and she looked a little old. She was smiling. She had 40% to 50% of her original body's combat strength. Could she not dominate the entire Xianhuang universe? I've paid such a huge price to descend to the lower realm. Xianhuang universe, I hope you won't disappoint me. Although Xian Huiyu was a woman, her murderous aura was too strong, and her eyes were filled with cruelty. Back then, more than a dozen Immortal Path experts had charged into Xianhuang universe. They had thought that they could dominate the entire Xianhuang universe in one go. In the end, she was the only one who survived. The fallen experts were her good friends and clansmen. In fact, those people held high positions among the Xian people. They were Immortal Path experts who had shaken the world. However, they were all killed by the strange man and the old village chief. This was a great humiliation. When she thought of this, Xian Huiyu's eyes turned red. When she looked at the battlefield, her expression turned extremely gloomy. The first remnant immortal's body was torn apart, while the second remnant immortal was blasted into a pulp. The three remnant immortals were killed one after another. Xian Huiyu's beautiful face was filled with malevolence. She said angrily, "All of you must die. None of you shall live." She was so angry that her lungs were about to explode. The three remnant immortals were killed, including the losses in the sealed land. 7 Immortal Path experts had died in battle, and all of this was because of Su Yin, who was only in the immortal realm. What kind of humiliation was this? It can only be washed clean with blood. Her eyes shone with a bone-piercing cold light. Especially when she was about to enter the battlefield, a figure soared into the sky. His entire body surged with a murderous aura that was even fiercer than hers. Roar! Su Yin let out a long roar. His two avatars burned at the same time. They worked together to push the 36 great Dao immortal pearls towards Xian Huiyu. Their auras grew stronger as they burned all their energy sources. "You ant!" Xian Huiyu's eyes flashed with a hint of disdain. He looked down at Su Yin, who was charging towards him, and said coldly, "Do you really think that immortal Dao experts are so easy to kill? Do you really think that you could defy the heavens and kill immortal Dao experts just because you killed a few severely injured immortals?" Boom! Her jade-like hand slowly extended downwards. Although it seemed gentle, the energy it contained was terrifying beyond compare. The heavens were covered, the world pitch black like ink. When the immortal Dao order erupted, the boundless starry sky began to tremble, producing streak after streak of large pitch-black cracks. This palm was so terrifying. It descended from the sky and instantly suppressed the 36 great Dao immortal pearls. Even the power of the immortal Dao that leaked out was about to tear apart the defense of the 36 great Dao immortal pearls. Boom! As the jade-like hand descended, the 36 great Dao immortal pearls also sank. The tremors caused Su Yan's two avatars to tremble. Blood flowed from their throats. They were undefeatable. This was the suppression of absolute power. All the experts in the world trembled. Just how strong was Xian Huiyu? She seemed to be severely injured, but even 40% or 50% of her strength was enough to crush any immortal realm expert. The giant palm covered the sky and continued to descend. Every finger shone. This palm was truly vast. It seemed to be able to suppress Su Yin and the great Dao immortal pearls under it. Su Yan spat out a mouthful of blood. His body fell to the ground, creating a large crater. Human Emperor, countless shouts rang out. This was an extremely cruel suppression. It was even about to suppress Su Yan. Once Su Yan was suppressed, who else in the Xianhuang universe could stop Xian Huiyu? The giant palm pressed down on the ground, sealing off the sky and the earth. At the same time, Xian Huiyu stepped forward. She arrived in front of him in a single step. Just as she was about to dig out the heavily injured Su Yan from the ground, two streams of clear qi suddenly surged out. They traversed time and space like lightning and flowed toward the universe's origin space. What? Xian Huiyu's expression changed. Then, she was overjoyed. It was really the complete version. The complete version of one qi into three pure ones. These two streams of clear qi were merely avatars. Xian Huiyu really did not expect Su Yan to have obtained the complete version. If she suppressed them, she would also obtain the origin power. That would be equivalent to obtaining two of the most powerful superpowers in history. This was a heaven-defying opportunity. I've obtained two of the most powerful superpowers. Even if the Xian people suffer heavy losses, it's still worth it. Xian Huiyu laughed. She reached out her hand again and grabbed at the two streams of clear qi. Once the clear qi was crushed, Su Yan's body would be severely injured. She did not even need to do anything. Su Yan would be crippled. However, just as her large hand reached out, it quickly came into contact with a layer of terrifying power that forcibly blocked her palm. Boom! It was also at this moment that millions of array lights flowed through the vast galaxy. They seemed to have transformed into countless giant hands that pushed the power of the universe and swarmed towards Xian Huiyu. The world enveloped by the heaven-imprisoning dragon lock formation shrunk rapidly. Almost instantly, it formed a small energy field that used the heavens and earth as a prison to seal Xian Huiyu. The methods of the mystic sect are indeed profound and unfathomable. The Xian people's arrayed Dao grandmasters who were entrenched in the extraterrestrial domain exclaimed, "This kid's control of the heavens and earth is also extraordinary. In the immortal celestial domain, someone like him will be able to become a guest elder of an immortal sect. He's really a genius." Others might not be able to see the exquisiteness of the heaven-imprisoning dragon lock formation, but they could see it clearly. The formation shrunk and used the universe as a chessboard to form a condensed prison world. It was enough to trap Xian Huiyu for a period of time. After all, this formation had used up an endless amount of chaos treasures. Although the heavens and earth were not enough to unleash the strongest state of the heaven-imprisoning dragon lock formation, it was still enough to trap Xian Huiyu for a period of time. "Bastard!" Xian Huiyu shouted angrily. The moment her aura surged, she wanted to tear apart the energy field. However, the heaven-imprisoning dragon lock formation was a double-killing formation. It could imprison the heavens and lock the dragons. The powerful suppressive force continuously suppressed Xian Huiyu. No matter how strong she was, she could not tear apart the entire killing formation in a short time. "She's trapped. It won't be long," the old leader said in a low voice. Before Su Yan left, he said that he could trap her for a day and a night at most. A day and a night. Bao Kai shook his fur. His eyes flashed fiercely as he growled. "That's about it. A day and a night is enough for us to recover." The miser opened his mouth and spat out an alchemy furnace. Bao Kai was extremely ferocious. He threw all the flesh of the immortal remnant on the ground into the alchemy furnace. Then he spat out a mouthful of flames and calcined the immortal remnant. He wanted to refine the immortal remnant to provide energy for recovery. The successive battles had exhausted them too much. They had to recover. Otherwise, it would be difficult to continue fighting. A bunch of lunatics. This scene really made the faces of the Xian people turn ugly. They were really a bunch of lunatics. Using an alchemy furnace to refine the immortal remnant's flesh was too crazy and cruel. However, they had no other choice. They needed energy to recover. As long as they could kill the enemy, as long as they could survive, as long as they could defend the universe of black yellow, let alone refine the immortal remnant's flesh and devour it. Even if they ate it raw, so what? Whoosh, whoosh. After the two clear cheese, they cut through the dark universe and flew toward the universe of black yellow. Soon, they approached the universe of origin space. Although it was difficult for Su Yin to find this place alone, it was not difficult for him to enter the universe of origin space again. In the universe of origin space, Su Yin sat cross-legged. His whole body was surrounded by the light of the Great Path, especially the comprehension energy of his primordial spirit. This enlightenment golden elixir was very helpful to him. Whoosh, whoosh. The moment the two clear cheese drilled in, Su Yan's body trembled violently. Puff! He coughed up blood, and his aura fell. He also came back to his senses from his meditation and understood everything. He said coldly, "Fortunately, I have mastered the one chi into Trinity. Otherwise, my combat power would have been greatly reduced. Although it is declining now, it is not a problem at all." Su Yan's pores spat out, absorbing the origin energy of the universe of origin space to strengthen the decline of his body. At the same time, the three avatars merged into one, and Su Yan's comprehension speed also skyrocketed. In his sea of consciousness, a magnificent picture appeared, as if it included the whole universe. It was also like the universe map, the evolution of billions of universes, describing the supreme secrets of life transformation. Su Yin comprehended layer by layer, as if he had found a treasure. In fact, this was a great opportunity. The evolution of life in the universe was supreme. Su Yan's body would naturally evolve, and his exploration of the essence of life would soar by a lot. Who didn't want to have the secrets of the universe of black yellow? Now that Su Yin had obtained it, it was equivalent to obtaining the most terrifying path of evolution. His body was constantly expanding. In the exploration of the path of life, his body was constantly surging with daily energy, and his aura was constantly increasing. Just a little bit more, and I can comprehend the complete universe map. Su Yan's eyes were wide open as he stared at the supreme life mysteries driven by the Emperor blood. The Emperor blood had dimmed a lot, and soon it completely dissipated. Su Yan didn't have much time, and, similarly, he didn't have many opportunities to comprehend it. He had reached the most critical moment. His primordial spirit bloomed with the supreme universe map to study the secrets of the evolution of life in the universe. And under the impetus of the Emperor blood, there were layers of supreme imprints that were injected into the depths of Su Yan's primordial spirit, prompting his comprehension speed to soar. And the magnificent aura that appeared in his primordial spirit was about to reach perfection. However, what Su Yan didn't notice was that on his arm, the dragon totem that had returned to nothingness gradually emerged. The golden totem, compared to before, was enriched with a shocking charm. It was like a living true dragon, circling around Su Yan's arm. When it revolved, there was a series of vibrating sounds. It was as if his heart was beating, as if the heavenly drum was beating. The momentum was so great that the origin space was trembling slightly. Then, the origin energy of black yellow began to penetrate the dragon totem. It was awakening, as if a creature sleeping in ancient times was beginning to glow with vitality. Chapter 1372. In the ancient Xianwang universe, the flames of war spread. Su Yin left to find other methods to suppress the immortal Tao experts. All the experts in the world were paying attention to the battlefield. The three immortals had died in battle, but the Xian people sent experts down again. Although there was a great formation sealing the sky and trapping Xian Huiyu, the dragon cage was about to collapse. However, the heaven-imprisoning dragon-locking formation was almost unable to hold on any longer. Sounds continuously rang out from within, muffled like thunder, exploding in the void. Every syllable shook the hearts of those who heard it. Just as Su Yin had predicted, one day and one night passed. The dragon cage grew dimmer and dimmer. In the end, it could no longer suppress Xian Huiyu's aura. Her figure became more and more blazing, more and more shocking. In the end, the aura she emitted shocked the world. The blacksmith and the others were suffocating. Even breathing was difficult, especially as the dragon cage grew dimmer and dimmer. The immortal aura that could crush all life began to surge. How could she be so strong? This woman is so much stronger than the three immortals. Even Iron Rooster was shocked. His expression was serious. If this woman destroyed the killing formation, it would definitely be a disaster for the Xianhuan universe. She's coming out. Yuan's eyes widened. Once Xian Huiyu broke out of seclusion, it would be very difficult to hold on. The immortal Dao realm was too strong. Even if Xian Huiyu was seriously injured, she was still not comparable to the immortals from before. At this time, waves of strange medicinal fragrance came, buzz. The alchemy furnace that was burning with raging flames was glowing, and the lid of the furnace was lifted off by Bao Kai. The pill furnace shone brightly. Divine splendor surged from the mouth of the furnace. Vigorous immortal energy was emitted, accompanied by immortal mist. It's finally done. The 8 immortals breathed a sigh of relief. They had finally succeeded. Now, time was limited. If they did not have powerful tonics to recover, it would be difficult for them to continue fighting. Su Yin was now in the origin Dao comprehension ground. They had to hold on until Su Yin came out of seclusion. It's a pity there's too little. Only 100 drops. Emperor Nan was a little disappointed. They had only cultivated so little, which was not enough for them to return to their peak condition. The old leader inspected the medicinal liquid in the cauldron and said in a low voice, Bao Kai, Sifo, and I. Now that Su Yin isn't here, the 3 of us are the strongest. If the 3 of us absorb the energy, we might be able to break through to the next realm. If we can reach the peak of the immortal realm and use the 3 sets of immortal Dao treasures, we might be able to stop her for a while. The blacksmith wanted to say something, but in the end, he didn't say anything. Only by wielding an immortal treasure would they be able to resist Xian Huiyu's aura. Otherwise, even if they managed to recover and participate in the battle, it would be useless. To put it bluntly, he was just going to throw his life away. That's the only thing we can do now. Emperor Nin nodded slightly. Staring at the sky-imprisoning dragon matrix that was about to collapse, he said, We will definitely win. We have overcome so many difficulties. This one won't make a difference. Boom. Emperor Nin closed his eyes. The remaining energy in his body leaked out and began to penetrate West Buddha's body. Even the powerful source of qi and blood in his body flowed back into West Buddha's body. West Buddha was shocked. Emperor Nin had already suffered a huge loss. Now that he leaked his source of life, he was afraid that it would shake the foundation of his physical body. Emperor Nin didn't say a word. He allowed the life force in his body to leak out. Since he couldn't continue to participate in the battle, he wanted West Buddha to take his strength and participate in the battle. Don't say any more. On the day of danger, you should use as much strength as you can. The blacksmith roared. He leaked his source of life and rushed into the old leader's body. Iron, if you don't bite off one of that woman's arms, I won't let you off. Iron Rooster also shouted savagely. He forced out his body's life force and rushed into Bao-Cai's body. Wong. The 5 immortal realm experts leaked their sources of life and rushed into the bodies of West Buddha and the others. They hoped that Bao Kai and the others could break through and become the strongest to shelter the universe from the wind and rain. We will definitely succeed. The 3 had strong beliefs. In the process, they each swallowed a part of the immortal energy in the furnace and guided it into their bodies to heal their injuries and even strengthen their foundation. It was worth mentioning that West Buddha's cultivation had reached the 2nd sky of the immortal realm very quickly. Although his realm wasn't high, with his Zhang's 6 golden body, he could unleash the strongest puppet state. Roar! Bao Kai roared like a barbaric dragon, shaking the sky. He almost stepped into the 4th sky of the immortal realm. Their auras were soaring. Only by constantly strengthening their body's energy could they release a stronger puppet power. 3 powerful experts awakened in the face of adversity. They bloomed with powerful vitality, like three gods standing at the top of the sky. The remaining 5 Immortal Realm experts' auras were weak, and they looked old. However, they were smiling. They didn't believe that the universe would fall in the hands of a woman. They would definitely win this battle. They would give it their all to win this battle. What's the point? At this moment, the sky imprisoning Dragonlock formation was covered with cracks. It was very difficult to trap Xian Huiyu. She raised her hand, shattered the entire killing formation, and rushed out. She looked at the 8 Immortal Realm experts with pity and sneered. I also cherish talents. You all have great potential. To be honest, I don't want to kill all of you. Is there anyone who wants to submit? Strip naked and dance. I can consider it. Bao Kai's tone was awe-inspiring. Moreover, its entire body took a step forward, as if it could easily shatter the starry river. Its aura was violent, and it truly possessed the demeanor of a beast deity. Since you are tired of living, I will fulfill your wish now. Xian Huiyu's eyes shot out a bone-chilling light. He stretched out his hand, and it was boundlessly huge. The crystal-clear, snow-white hand blocked the top of the sky. It fell from the sky and suppressed the 3 powerful experts. This attitude and this domineering attitude showed that she didn't take the 3 of them seriously. She was an Immortal Realm expert. How could she be afraid of 3 Immortal Realm experts? Boom! The Immortal Dao hand suppressed the space and time. Heavenly wind also surged out of the palm, tearing the sky apart and rushing toward the 3 Immortal Realm experts. It's too early to talk about who will live and who will die. Shi-Fo and the other 2 roared. Their auras recovered to the extreme. At the same time, they also threw out 3 Immortal Dao treasures. Su Yin handed the 36 Immortal Pearls to the old leader. Each pearl was dazzling and sparkling, surrounded by the light of the great Dao. Shifo's demon subduing pestle had shocking killing power. It could easily pierce through space and time. Of course, among the 3 treasures, Baotsai's 9 Dragon Seal was the most shocking. Once it was used, the seal would be surrounded by 9 dragons. Its aura would devour the heavens, and it could suppress space and time. These 3 Immortal Dao treasures flowed with Immortal Dao light. Let's fight, the old leader shouted. The 3 Immortal Dao treasures attacked the giant palm, descending from the sky with the 3 Immortal Dao treasures. The moment the 2 collided, a huge explosion occurred in the sky. Boom! A world-ending battle, shocking heaven and earth, and making ghosts and gods weep. Many cultivators were frightened. The scene of the battle was too terrifying. Even the Sea of Stars was destroyed. The giant palm and the 3 Immortal Dao treasures collided, forming an ocean-like energy ripple that covered heaven and earth. The Immortal Dao giant palm trembled violently. It was blocked, showing signs of collapsing in front of the 3 Immortal Dao treasures. Suppress. Xian Huiyu's giant hand rose up again. Strands of Immortal Dao order drilled out, covering the giant hand. This caused this palm strike of hers to be peerlessly terrifying, and it struck the 3 great Immortal Dao treasures to the point of rustling. This was a terrifying Immortal Dao order that was interweaved together, and it intended to suppress the 3 great Immortal Dao treasures and attack Yuan and the others. The 3 Immortal Dao experts burned fiercely, surging with the strongest power of their bodies to maintain the operation of the 3 Immortal Dao treasures. They did everything they could to resist Xian Huiyu. You guys can't stop me. Xian Huiyu sneered. She stood in the starry sky, her palm descending fiercely. She wanted to break the defenses of the 3 Immortal Dao treasures and kill them. However, at this moment, a figure rushed over from a distant world. It was filled with vast fluctuations, and its momentum shook heaven and earth. It tore the sky apart as if an ancient demonic star was crashing over. The speed of the person who came was too fast. The figure crashed through the starry sky and arrived before them. The figure was as black as ink. His majestic battle body surged with demonic light. In an instant, he took out a jet-black halberd. Kill! His voice was low, but it was like thunder that resounded in the depths of people's souls. It was as if he was sentencing people to death. The aura of the person who came had completely changed. He was ferocious and domineering, like a domineering demon lord, surging with the power to split the sky and split the sea. Heaven and earth trembled, and then it was cut apart. The jet-black halberd swept across the sky and slashed down, slashing towards Xian Huiyu's head. East Demon! Countless people roared. It's East Demon! It's him! The blood of billions of people surged. Another immortal realm expert had come. East Demon was even more powerful. He was like a demon lord who ruled over the earth. There was a faint black substance churning in his body. This was definitely the peerless demeanor of an overlord, dominating the world with peerless courage. B***starred. Xian Huiyu was angry. She was angry not because of the experts in the Xianhuang universe, but because of East Demon's attitude. He descended from the sky and waved his halberd to chop off her head. Who dared to do such a thing? Who dared to target an immortal realm expert? It was the first time she had seen such a domineering method. Fellow Taoist, you. West Buddha's expression changed. He could vaguely see East Demon's state. There was a dark substance surging in his body. Could it be that he had swallowed the dark substance and obtained terrifying strength? Big brother. Tensor was so excited that he almost shed tears. He really did not expect East Demon to come. East Demon, who had been in the dark forces for many years, had his heart corroded by darkness. He had been living in the dark for many years. Now, he could finally stand out and make a move openly. Follow me to kill the enemy. East Demon roared. His long hair danced like a waterfall, and he was very domineering. Baokai, West Buddha, the old leader, and East Demon. 4 great experts stood out, just like the North Demon, West Buddha, South Emperor, and East Demon back then. The 4 experts charged towards Xian Huiyu with their strongest combat strength. We must win this battle. People of our generation have no fear. No one is afraid of death. We will all stand out and fight with our lives. Countless cultivators roared, their blood surging. They wanted nothing more than to participate. The great battle erupted, igniting all the madness. This battle was a matter of life and death. No one would take half a step back. There was only death. The 4 great experts directly fought with their lives on the line, fighting with Xian Huiyu. The fierce battle, the sound waves, was like the weapon training pool of the immortal world roaring. Golden spears and armored horses, the battle blood surging. All of this affected the Xianhuang universe. In the origin Tao comprehension ground, surging killing intent surged. The place rumbled violently, as if the horn of war was blown, calling for the most powerful warriors of the Xianhuang universe to participate in the battle and protect their home. Boom! A brilliant light began to bloom. The Xianhuang mark between Su Yan's brows appeared and began to rumble on its own. It transmitted a grand universe fluctuation into his primordial spirit, allowing his universe secret pattern diagram to merge with his soul. It's finally done. Su Yan opened his eyes. They were sharp and terrifying. His pitch-black pupils were like the rotation of an extremely deep universe. His primordial spirit shone, and a vast universe secret pattern diagram descended, covering Su Yan's body. He knew that he was about to welcome a major breakthrough. This was also the first time he had stepped into the immortal realm, that he had fully explored the path of life. This also meant that his body was like the universe, and the strongest era was coming. Chapter 1373. The Origin Sutra walked the path of the body as the universe. This sutra had been passed down since ancient times. It was broad and profound. In the past, when Su Yan reached the great Tao realm, he dreamt of the prehistoric times and fused the prehistoric Tao fruit with the present progenitor Tao fruit, entering the domain of the great Tao realm. In the future, he would be able to evolve the state of the body as the universe. This sutra had accompanied Su Yan as he grew up, and there was naturally no need to mention how helpful it was to him. Now, Su Yan discovered that the immortal realm was the start of a new life. The path of cultivation was the path of immortality. It was a path that could even transform the essence of life. This was the strongest path to excavate the treasures of the Origin Sutra. The body as the universe was too difficult to understand. No one dared to say that they truly understood the great Tao of the universe. Who could say that their bodies could really compare to the vital signs of the universe? But now, in the supreme profound driven by the Emperor's blood, he saw the evolution process of a universe and the evolution process of life. One had to know that this was the transformation of life in the universe. If one could comprehend it, it would naturally be very important to one's cultivation. At the immortal realm, the essence of life could complete a transformation. Now, the secret pattern diagram of the universe he comprehended covered his body, stimulating Su Yan's flesh shell to glow and flow with the primordial power of all things. He directly entered the state of the body as the universe. I am the universe. Su Yan roared toward the sky. His flesh and blood were glowing, and divine radiance scattered from his body. This scene was like the Milky Way falling from the 9 heavens. It was exceptionally spectacular. For a time, Su Yan's temperament was too divine. He was like an immortal king sitting cross-legged in the 9 heavens, releasing the strongest life profound. It was equivalent to him performing a small-scale evolution of a universe, and it was targeted at his own body. Su Yan's entire body shone. He saw through the essence of his own life. He could evolve and complete his previous shortcomings. I'm going to become stronger again. Su Yan was excited. His body was evolving and glowing. The process was scorching and unbearable, but he was very clear that this kind of treasure body could excavate deeper energy substances. It was equivalent to evolving the essence of life. What kind of terrifying opportunity was this? Did those immortal sects with billions of years of inheritance have this? Su Yan believed that if he walked this path to the depths, he would definitely be able to excavate extremely terrifying physical treasures. In fact, his cultivation in the immortal realm would naturally be even more terrifying. Boom! Su Yan's corporeal body rumbled. Blood and chi surged out of his pores, layer after layer, like a vast ocean bursting its banks. Surging waves tore through the sky, erupting without end. During this process, his flesh and blood shone, his blood and chi rumbled, and his corporeal body emitted cracking sounds. This scene was similar to being reborn. His physical body began to mutate, and Su Yan's soul trembled with excitement. This was the evolution of his life essence. For example, if a broken jar was reconstructed by a grandmaster, it would be perfect. Moreover, when Su Yan was in the sempiternal realm, he had no one to guide him in his cultivation. He had to rely on himself to explore everything. Now that he had obtained the secrets of Xuanhuang's evolution, he had begun to perfect his mortal body. With every breath he took, his aura grew stronger. Bang bang! Streams of cosmic origin energy also began to descend from the origin space and penetrated Su Yan's body, nourishing him with the energy he needed to evolve. Su Yan's blood and chi had become much more vigorous, and his vitality was exuberant. He was like a majestic mountain range, and he could swallow the heavens, earth, sun, moon, and stars with a single breath. His blood and chi were so vigorous that it could be said to be abnormal. True dragons of blood and chi emerged from his pores and rushed to the top of the sky. A total of 81 true dragons soared through the sky with peerless courage. Break again, Su Yan roared, and his body shone as if the universe was rotating. A curtain of blood and chi surged out, drowning the entire space-time. He was so powerful that it was abnormal. His vitality and physique were too powerful. He was like an ancient dragon that looked down on the universe. The oppressive space was distorted. This was a level that could not bear his explosive power. However, this was only the beginning. His body was surrounded by the origin mysteries of all things. It was growing and nourishing all things, including the immortal matter. Su Yin was like a dragon swallowing and absorbing the world's origin energy, urging his treasure body to produce more immortal matter. He was maturing his combat body and producing immortal matter. The stronger the combat body, the more immortal matter would be produced. Su Yin was now entering this state. Everything was logical. Why isn't this kid here yet? On the battlefield, the four powerhouses worked together to resist Xian Huiyu. The Baokai screamed miserably. Its blood-stained body let out a dragon's roar. Its ferocious light surged. It could not hold on any longer. Its skin was lacerated, and there was a palm print on its huge head. Its head had almost been crushed. West Buddha was not in good condition either. There were many palm prints on his Zhang 6 golden body. The golden body rumbled as it was bombarded. Blood flowed out of his mouth and nose. His body was about to collapse at any time. Fortunately, the four Buddha's shells were hard and could not be preserved. Otherwise, they would have been directly blown apart by Xian Huiyu. Kill! The old leader roared. He activated the 36 great Tao immortal pearls and evolved the road of immortal ascension. In this short period of time, he had the combat strength of a true immortal and attacked Xian Huiyu. Slash, slash. Among the four powerhouses, East Demon's battle stance was the most ferocious. His black halberd split the air, and its sharpness leaked out. It could easily tear apart space-time and cut down Xian Huiyu. From the beginning of the battle until now, East Demon had been in his peak state. His combat strength was superb, and he had burned his powerful life source to attack Xian Huiyu. For small fries, let's see how long you can hold on. Xian Huiyu was furious. She did not expect them to be able to stop her for so long. Her jade palm struck the black halberd, shaking it until it trembled and forcing East Demon to retreat. However, the four of them did not fear death at all. They were completely using their lives to make up for their major flaws. The four powerful battle constitutions were dyed in blood. They erupted while bathed in blood, and they roared unyieldingly. They were about to grow old from battle. They could not retreat even half a step. Chi-Chi. Suddenly, Xian Huiyu's aura became cold. Her palm shone, and a true phoenix emerged, spreading its wings and splitting the sky. This true phoenix was like a living supreme creature. Every feather was resplendent and dazzling, as if they could tear apart one's soul. In an instant, it charged at the old leader. Hong! The void exploded. Xian Huiyu went crazy, erupting with immortal Tao secret techniques and supreme killing methods. It really was as if a true phoenix supreme being was born, surrounded by immortal Tao order and burning with raging flames. It pounced over, the scene too terrifying. It was as if it was going to devour an undying being. The old leader used his greatest power to stop the true phoenix that pounced over. His entire body merged with the path of immortal ascension produced by the 36 immortal pearls. Pum! A loud explosion sounded. The void shattered, and it was dyed red with blood. Pooh! The old leader coughed out large mouthfuls of blood. His body was crushed until it caved in. The 36 great Tao immortal pearls were all blasted flying. His hair was disheveled, and there were 2 sinister scars on his chest. Even his internal organs could be seen clearly. There was even a terrifying power corroding his body. The true Phoenix secret technique left behind extremely shocking injuries on his body. The strike just now almost killed the old leader. Even in the true immortal state, he was already degenerating. His aura declined greatly. This treasure is powerful, but how much of its power can you display? Xian Huiyu sneered. She once again produced the power of the true phoenix and attacked the old leader. No one could stop her from targeting the old leader. Even though East Demon and the others were strong, they were still not immortal Tao experts. They could only stop her, but they could not stop the killing saint technique she produced. The true phoenix soared into the sky, spreading its wings. With a fierce pounce, the pressure was suffocating. It wanted to tear the old leader apart alive. Suddenly, a supreme vicious aura erupted, tearing the sky apart. Roar! Bao Kai let out a fierce roar. It was like the roar of a barbaric dragon, shaking heaven and earth. Bao Cai's blood-stained body instantly turned golden. It charged madly in the void, pouncing over. During this process, Bao Cai's aura continuously transformed, becoming stronger and stronger. It was to the extent that its claws were like dragon claws reborn, tearing the sky apart. Its vicious aura reached 100,000 zhang. Roar! Finally, Bao Cai rushed over. The essence chi that leaked out formed a huge dragon. It was accompanied by a thick, prehistoric aura that came crushing down. Xian Tairan was stunned. He saw Bao Cai's claws pressing down on the true phoenix like an eagle catching a chick. This was the difference between their abilities. Although Bao Cai was in the immortal realm, the energy of the 9 dragons was released from its body. The true dragon claws that evolved from it contained wisps of immortal might. The 9 dragons and the others had tears in their eyes. This was the ultimate technique of one of the 9 old masters. Bao Cai had passed through Dragon City's 9 great heavenly trials. In each heavenly trial, he had learned a shocking secret technique. This was also the true dragon bloodline's supreme killing saint technique. Its attack power was peerless and unparalleled. The most powerful prehistoric ability, the true dragon claws of the ancestral dragon's secret technique. Xian Tairan's voice trembled. This was a supreme, killing secret technique. It was a combination of 9 ultimate techniques. It could be called the ancestral dragon's secret technique. The true dragon claws was not terrifying. What was shocking was that Xian Tairan realized that Bao Cai's state seemed to be similar to the complete ancestral dragon's secret technique. However, in its state, it could not erupt with the strongest true dragon's secret technique. Just one move had almost exhausted Bao Cai's 9 dragons' power. However, it had also succeeded in breaking Xian Huiyu's killing technique. What? Xian Huiyu was also shocked. Could it be another, one of the most powerful abilities in history? The primordial force, 1 chi into 3 pure ones, ancestral dragon's secret technique, 3 great abilities. These were already the super treasures of the Xianwang universe. In the next moment, she screamed because East Demon's black halberd had slashed her back. No matter how tough her immortal Dao body was, even with the protection of the immortal Dao order, a bloody mark appeared on her back. She almost fell to the ground. You bastards, I wanted to let you die with dignity. It seems like you're forcing me to pull out weeds. Xian Huiyu was furious. His body surged with a monstrous immortal radiance, forming an immortal radiance that swept across the 4 powerhouses. West Buddha and East Demon could barely hold on. However, the old leader and Bao Cai were seriously injured. The moment the immortal radiance swept over, the 2 powerhouses screamed. They felt like they were about to be burned and turned into ashes. They were in so much pain that they wished they were dead. It hurts too much. Bao Cai screamed, about to die. The immortal Dao expert went crazy. It was very difficult for them to match Xian Huiyu. After all, this Xian Huiyu's combat strength was not something the 3 remnant immortals could compare to. Painful screams echoed between heaven and earth, as if they were transmitted to the origin Dao comprehension ground. In this vast space-time, boundless origin energy poured down and penetrated a figure. A huge amount of origin energy entered Su Yan's body, and his aura became even more vast. Layers of immortal light rose from his back. Each layer of immortal light was like a cloud in the sky. 5 layers exploded in succession, drowning the entire space-time. Break again, Su Yan roared. His flesh glowed, and the 6th layer of immortal tide suddenly erupted, causing his aura to become much more terrifying. Even the 6th layer of immortal light had the strength to bombard the 7th layer of the immortal realm. Now, Su Yan's cultivation realm was at the peak of the 6th layer of the immortal realm. His combat strength had increased by too much, and the huge amount of immortal matter in his body had even surpassed Xian Hongda's. What did this mean? The path of perfecting his life essence had laid down a peerless foundation for Su Yan. Today, I'll update at noon and at night. Also, I went out to buy groceries in the morning, so I updated late. Sorry, everyone. Chapter 1374. Suyin clenched his fists, and his powerful vitality was withdrawn. In an instant, Suyin had also grown into an overlord of the immortal realm. I should go. Suyin didn't stay any longer, and his figure disappeared from the origin of Tao comprehension. The outside world wouldn't be peaceful. Although the seclusion was short, Xian Huiyu had already arrived in Xianwang universe. His figure left the origin of Tao comprehension and appeared in the dark universe. With his primordial spirit state, he could clearly see the great battle in the distant world. This battle had affected the hearts of all the living beings in the black-yellow universe. The universe's catastrophe had already caused the universe to tremble. The movements coming from the battlefield were too shocking. The vast sea of stars kept trembling, and star regions were about to be destroyed. Fortunately, before the great battle, the creatures of these stellar regions had all moved to the chaos ruins. Otherwise, who knew how many experts would have died in such a battle? 4 great experts working together can't stop them. Where is the human emperor? When is he coming? If he doesn't come, the 4 great experts won't be able to hold on. Many people were on the verge of exploding, and even more young people were boiling with anger. They wanted to join the battle, but they weren't qualified. They couldn't even withstand the energy ripples from the battlefield. These were billions of layers of energy ripples. They swallowed the universe and created a scene of destruction. A corner of the battlefield was dyed red with blood. The old leader's body was damaged, and he was hit by the immortal radiance inextinguishable light head-on. If not for his 36 great Tao immortal pearls blocking most of the power, the previous attack would have been enough to destroy the old leader. Tai Baokai was also almost killed. There were many holes in his body, and thick blood was spilling out. The immortal radiance inextinguishable light, which almost extinguished all life, crashed into Baotsai's flesh shell, trying to tear his body apart. In the end, Baokai used the 9-dragon seal to suppress his body that was about to fall apart. He let out a savage roar, and his panda eyes turned red. This damned woman! Tai Baokai crawled up. His flesh shell was burning, and blurry 9-colored divine light rose. He looked especially majestic, like a beast god standing in the sky. He wanted to rush up and gather the power of the dragon to fight Xian Huiyu. All of you retreat. West Buddha and East Devil's faces changed. They joined hands and rushed forward, wanting to block Xian Huiyu. I can still fight. Baotsai's ferocious aura was too heavy. It raised its head and its panda body glowed. It was extremely ferocious. Its blood and chi surged as it activated the Uncanny Craftsmanship series once more. The old leader who was lying in a pool of blood really wanted to get up. He tried to get up, but again and again, he fell into a pool of blood. The old leader let out a low roar and also wanted to go over, but he didn't have much strength left. Let me. The decrepit Yuan leaped onto the battlefield and grabbed the 36 great Tao immortal pearls. Roar! Yuan raised his head and roared furiously. His bronze body surged with the aura of the martial Tao, and his flesh shell also surged with dense supreme seals. As they rotated, they combined together and formed a grand phantom of the god of war. This scene caused many people's hearts to tremble. Some people even shed tears. Baokai was on the verge of death, but it was tenacious and did not retreat. It had a hold on until Su Yin returned. Yuan was extremely decrepit, but he burned his source of life. His hair was snowy white, and he had some of the charm of a prehistoric elder brother. He charged into the battlefield. The 4 great experts joined hands once again, intending to trap Xian Huiyu. This battle made the immortals who were entrenched in the outside world look gloomy. They had really underestimated the Black Origin universe. No wonder it could produce 10 immortals in succession. These people had great boldness, great perseverance, and were not afraid of death. They were willing to sacrifice their lives for their race and for the universe. If these people did not die prematurely, they would definitely achieve great things in the future. Perhaps they could even make a name for themselves in the undying sky domain. It's a pity that these young people are enemies. They can't be used by my race. Cien Tyran said coldly. No matter how strong they are, even if they're immortal slaying experts, they can't stop my second doppelganger. The battle erupted, but Cien Huayu was already angry. Just 4 undying immortals had held him back for so long. The heavens could not tolerate this. Immortal Ocean's seal. She let out a roar, and a seal formed by the interweaving of immortal Tao order appeared in her hand. The moment the seal appeared, an immortal Tao ocean was born. The order was like an ocean, bright red and terrifying to the extreme. Dong! The vast space-time trembled, and every inch of heaven and earth was suppressed. The immortal ocean seal was operating like an immortal Tao ocean. The law was like an ocean, and the order was interwoven. It descended from the sky and temporarily suppressed the 4 immortal Tao treasures. This seal needed a huge amount of energy to support it. Cien Huayu did not want to lose so much energy to them, but she had to use it now. She suspected that these 4 had risked their lives to stop her, and they might have other killing methods to deal with her. Therefore, she directly used the immortal ocean seal to suppress the 4 immortal Tao treasures for a short time. Although Cien Huayu had also lost a lot of energy, she was still very strong. Immortal radiance burst out from her pores again and rushed toward the 4 great experts. The 4 great experts roared angrily and defended. West Buddha's Zhang 6 golden body was beaten until it was dim and almost deformed. East Demon coughed out blood and was sent flying. However, he quickly stabilized his body and swept over again. Yuan's great Buddha avatar was beaten full of holes. He staggered as if he had been struck by lightning, and he became even older. It hurt so much. Bao Kai cried out miserably. Broken bones and blood spurted out from his pores. His blood-stained body flew out and smashed into a broken star. He was in so much pain that he wished he was dead. However, at this time, the space trembled. A damaged cauldron flew over and entered Bao Cai's body through his pores. Bao Kai was quick-witted. He wanted to crawl up, but his injuries were too severe. He fell to the ground and panted heavily. Large amounts of blood flowed out from his mouth and nose. It was really difficult for him to fight. Evil creature, you'll be the first to die. Cien Huayu sneered. Her figure streaked across the sky. She was too fast. East Demon found it difficult to catch up. He waved his black halberd and roared. He felt powerless and could no longer stop Cien Huayu. Yuan and West Buddha were also heavily injured. They were about to be defeated. They roared angrily and wanted to help. However, no matter how strong they were, they could not kill their way over. Cien Huayu raised her hand and slapped Bao Kai. She wanted to smash it into smithereens. Old woman, I'll drown you with a mouthful of blood. Bao Cai's panda eyes spun. It spat out a mouthful of blood, which was mixed with a damaged cauldron, and flew towards Cien Huayu. Evil creature, you're about to die, and you still dare to be so despicable. I'll tear you to pieces. Cien Huayu's eyes widened in anger. Her methods were too shocking. She raised her hand and attacked directly, ignoring everything. She even ignored the blood-stained cauldron. Although Cien Huayu had seen through the damaged cauldron, so what? Even if they had more powerful treasures, would they be able to unleash their power, let alone a damaged cauldron? There was nothing to worry about. The starry sky even exploded. The shocking destructive force was about to destroy the entire broken star. Cien Huayu wanted to turn the Bao Kai into ashes along with it. However, just as all of this was about to engulf the Bao Kai, the damaged cauldron hidden in the blood roared violently. A figure emerged from the mouth of the cauldron. Su Yin descended from the sky. His appearance was too sudden and too shocking. This was because the moment his life aura surged, the heavens collapsed and the earth cracked. It was like a raging sea that cut off the battlefield and blocked Cien Huayu's path. Cien Huayu was shocked. She stared at Su Yin, who was shining with divine light. Was this still the same Cien Honda who had killed Su Yin on the Emperor Road's battle platform? Why was his life force so vigorous? What kind of opportunity did he obtain in the past few days? Why did his combat strength suddenly increase so much? Su Yin suddenly raised his hand. His entire palm emanated an unparalleled, mysterious energy that caused the Tao to resonate. It even caused the ancient universe to tremble. It was as if the master of the universe had returned and was controlling the universe. "Open for me," Su Yin roared. His black hair danced wildly, and his magic power surged into the sky. His hand seemed to cover the nearby starfield, causing it to shake, undulate, and rumble. In fact, Su Yan's giant hand had even grabbed the entire starry sky galaxy. This aura, this posture, this domineering aura stunned everyone. Everyone was dumbfounded. They couldn't believe their eyes. They all felt that their eyes were playing tricks on them. The scene was too surreal. Most people only saw a corner of the starfield. With their abilities, they could not see the entire starfield. They only felt that Su Xianren was using an earth-shattering divine ability to suppress Xian Huiyu. F***CK. East Demon was so frightened that he cursed. He quickly retreated, afraid that he would be affected. Sifo and the others were dumbfounded. What had they seen? Su Yin had come. He had raised his hand and grabbed an entire starfield? What kind of joke was this? The current Xianwang universe. It cannot be compared to a few years ago. The territory of the Xianwang universe had become much larger, and the starfield was also more than 10 times larger than before. It was no longer the small universe of the past. In the past, immortal experts could cover the entire small universe with one hand, but now it was impossible. Even the patriarchs of the Xian people found it extremely difficult to do so. But now, Su Yin grabbed an entire starfield with one hand. He seemed to have become the ruler of the Xianwang universe. What kind of majestic scene was this? He had grabbed an entire starfield, and his eyes were overflowing with killing intent. It was incomparably terrifying. In an instant, an astonishing aura filled the air. The phenomenon was too terrifying. The starfield exploded, and billions of layers of energy bombarded Xian Huiyu. All of this happened too suddenly and too bizarrely. The energy explosion of the entire starfield was a supreme suppression. It was equivalent to a hand of the Xianwang universe suppressing over. Xian Huiyu was smashed until she was dizzy and about to faint. Her eyes turned black, and she cried out in pain. Her entire head was covered in cracks, and her head was almost smashed apart. Then, she let out a painful cry. Her arm was grabbed and directly deformed. Su Yin roared angrily. His aura surged, and the flames of battle erupted. He tore fiercely, and his body was like a berserk true dragon. He tore off her entire arm, and bright red blood sprinkled down. It was a shocking scene. This was an immortal expert, and her entire arm was torn off by Su Yin. Chapter 1375. Su Yan's hand was clutching an arm that was dripping with blood. The scene was a little horrifying. Everyone present was dumbfounded. They were stunned and pointed at Su Yin, not knowing what to say. Eastern Demon Do was silent. This appearance was too shocking. Billions of creatures in the entire Xianwang universe were roaring, their blood boiling. The human sovereign had appeared once again, and he was even stronger and more intimidating. They wondered what he had experienced in the past few days. Bastard! Xian Tyrant's face was ferocious. He was so angry that his body was trembling. Xian Huiyu was his proudest child, but her entire arm had been torn off. This was a great humiliation. Xian Huiyu was an immortal Tao expert, after all. No matter how strong Su Yin was, he was still a sempiternal realm cultivator. However, a sempiternal realm cultivator had turned the tables and torn off her entire arm. This was a great humiliation. The Xian people's experts in the outside world were furious. The Xian people had paid a huge price to send Xian Huiyu down to the lower world. If she lost miserably, the consequences would be unimaginable. The old ancestor of the Xian people who came second had a gloomy expression. Although Xian Huiyu still had stronger moves, once they were used, it would be a great blow to Xian Tyrant. Xian Huiyu's body was also trembling. Her entire body was dripping with blood. One of her arms had been torn off. She didn't feel any pain because the humiliation in her heart was even worse. Her arm had been torn off by someone who was stronger than her. This humiliation made Xian Huiyu's face contort. Boom! In fact, all of this happened in a very short period of time. The moment Su Yin tore off her arm, he instantly raised his foot and kicked at Xian Huiyu. This kick was fast, accurate, and ruthless. Space and time were shattered. It was full of destructive power. Pooh! Xian Huiyu was coughing up blood. Her body was bent. This kick had landed squarely on her stomach, causing her to be in so much pain that she wished she was dead. Blood was flowing out of her pores, and her 5 internal organs had suffered a certain degree of damage. Dong! Su Yan's body was full of ferocity. He fiercely punched at Xian Huiyu's head. From the moment he appeared until now, Su Yan had severely injured Xian Huiyu. His fist swallowed the starry sky as it smashed over. Bang! Xian Huiyu's hair stood on end as a peerless crisis loomed over him. He opened his mouth and spat out a mouthful of immortal Tao energy towards Su Yan's fist. Boom! This cloud of immortal qi contained the order of the immortal Tao. It tore through the sky like an immortal sword and slashed at Su Yan. However, Su Yan's aura became more and more terrifying. His roar shook the entire starry sky, and his battle blood burned. In the end, he stood at his peak. Radiance rushed out from his body, splitting apart the heavens. His aura surged, looking down on everything before him. Boom! A peerless fist radiance smashed over, colliding with this immortal Tao energy stream, producing a huge explosion, energy ripples overflowing into the heavens. Invincible human sovereign. The mysterious yellow universe was filled with earth-shattering shouts. Su Yan was enraged. His fist shattered the immortal Tao energy. His figure traversed through time and space and pounced towards Xian Huiyu. His whole body was also carrying boundless, undying, godly power. You piece of trash! Xian Huiyu was both shocked and furious. How did Su Yan's strength soar so much in just a few days? Could it be that the Emperor Board had really given him a great opportunity? This kind of thing had happened in the past. However, Su Yan's improvement was a little too ridiculous. In just a few days, his strength had soared like crazy. Kill! Su Yan roared. His long black hair draped over his shoulders. He was majestic and imposing as he suppressed Xian Huiyu. This scene was shocking. An Immortal Realm expert was fighting Xian Huiyu in close combat. Everyone felt that their eyes were playing tricks on them. How strong was human sovereign Su Yan? The moment Su Yan arrived in front of Xian Huiyu, starfields lit up one after another, and the heavens rumbled one after another. Heaven and earth rotated along with Su Yan, forming a terrifying domain pattern. In the end, a shocking scene was presented to the world. A huge yin-yang fish appeared behind Su Yan's back. It embraced the yin-yang of heaven and earth, emanating an ancient and majestic aura that shook the world. Strange gate pattern? The Xian people's array grandmasters were shocked. How can this be? Even if he's proficient in the power of heaven and earth, it's impossible for him to push the strange gate pattern to such an extent, unless he's the Lord of the universe. No one knew how Su Yan did it. Only Bao Kai knew that Su Yan had grasped the secrets of the evolution of the mysterious yellow universe. It was equivalent to becoming the ruler of the mysterious yellow universe. He was qualified to repair the mysterious yellow universe, let alone use the vast godly power of the mysterious yellow universe. Thousands of auras roared and charged towards Xian Huiyu with supreme suppressive power. Wang. Xian Huiyu was also recovering. His whole body surged with resplendent light of the immortal Tao. Behind him, the immortal Tao opened, revealing dense order runes that sealed the sky and earth, isolating Su Yan from the energy matter. Suppress. Su Yan roared. He pushed the universe and combined it with his own strange gate pattern. The shocking power blasted forward, forming a monstrous collision that was enough to destroy heaven and earth. The terrifying suppression caused Xian Huiyu's body to tremble violently, and she was almost sent flying. The energy attack she encountered was too strong. If she was at her peak, she wouldn't be afraid at all. However, she had suffered heavy losses in successive battles. Facing this kind of suppression, it was really difficult for her to resist. In the end, blood flowed out of her mouth and nose, and the immortal Tao order that filled the sky began to collapse layer by layer. This scene made West Buddha and the others roar with excitement. Was he going to win? Was he going to win this battle? He will definitely win, definitely. Yuan roared like a fierce beast. Xian Huiyu could threaten the entire mysterious yellow universe, but now Su Yan was resisting and even starting to counterattack. He can do it. The immortal Tao order is being suppressed. He can definitely do it. Emperor Nan roared, his blood surging. The entire universe was shouting. It had to be said that at this moment, Su Yan was too charming. He was brilliant, representing the mysterious yellow universe and the fate of the race. He was born in the face of a calamity. Commandant, Su Yan roared. He was like a true dragon soaring through the sky, creating a myriad of avatars. He charged in front of Xian Huiyu and erupted with a fierce punch, striking at the trembling Xian Huiyu. The two powerhouses fought fiercely. Heaven and earth exploded upon contact. However, blood splashed out, surging and churning, dyeing the ruined world red. A hair-raising sound reverberated. Everyone saw Su Yan's fist shatter into pieces. There were signs of it being shattered by Xian Huiyu's jade-like palm. Break again, Su Yan roared. His eyes were vertical, and an ominous glint rushed out of his body, surging and erupting. He was too tenacious, scattering the immortal Tao power that was pressing down on him. Su Yan's entire body was like a fierce dragon coming out of its cage. The scene was shocking. Just the chi and blood rushing out of his pores formed a vast sea of anger, drowning the entire space-time. How is this possible? How can his physical body be so strong? What kind of physique does he have? The faces of the Xian people were extremely ugly. How vigorous was his chi and blood? How terrifying was his treasured body? It had already surpassed Xian Hongda. However, Su Yan was only at the peak of the 6th level of the immortal realm. How'd he do it? In fact, Su Yan's body was burning during the battle, stimulating him to enter the indestructible golden body domain. Su Yan, his strength was domineering beyond compare. The strength he used to regenerate his battle strength smashed into Xian Huiyu, causing her entire palm to shatter. Xian Huiyu let out a shrill scream, wanting to break free from Su Yan. This was because Su Yan's chi and blood were too vigorous. Of course, this was not a threat to her. However, the moment Su Yan entered the indestructible golden body domain, it was too wild. This state could be called a small success golden body. Boom! The power that surged out of Su Yan's blood-stained golden fist was extremely ferocious and had the power to destroy the world. In the end, Xian Huiyu's jade palm shattered, and the wound extended to her entire arm. Her second arm was also smashed by Su Yan in a spurt of energy. Die! A hysterical roar reverberated throughout the battlefield. Su Yan's battle physique was burning and erupting. He had revived the most terrifying life force, but it was still exhausting his vitality. He had to fight until he declined. This was an ultimate confrontation. Only the most tenacious warrior could unleash the most terrifying killing power. It was like the old village chief saber that had exhausted his vitality and shattered his divine weapon. In the end, his fist landed on Xian Huiyu's broken body, shattering it into pieces. In fact, Su Yan was on the verge of collapsing. He knelt on the ground on one knee, blood flowing from the corner of his mouth. He was so weak that he was trembling. However, his eyes flashed with excitement. After defeating Xian Huiyu, even if she could rebuild her damaged battle physique, Su Yan was still confident that he could crush her. Everyone in the entire universe was silent. In outer space, the immortal experts who were entrenched in the immortal clan were also stunned. Xian Huiyu had been smashed into pieces by a single fist. Countless people's hair stood on end. They could not believe their eyes. Was he still an immortal? He was like a human-shaped weapon that had surpassed the immortal path realm. Although Su Yin had suppressed the immortal path order with the power of the universe, his barbaric combat power made the Xian people feel that he was a great threat that had to be eliminated. Moreover, from the beginning to the end of the battle, Su Yin had only gone berserk for half an hour before he defeated Xian Huiyu. A mournful voice echoed in the blood-stained starry sky. The people of the world suddenly became nervous. They saw Xian Huiyu's shattered body spurred out thick, immortal blood that contained the power of rebirth. Immortal blood, indestructible technique. A deep voice exploded, and a power that could seize the fortune of heaven and earth surged out. The immortal blood burned and turned into order symbols that wrapped around her broken body, reconstructing her broken flesh. The blacksmith and the others were stunned. What kind of secret technique was this? He could reconstruct her battle physique even after it had been destroyed. She's still not dead. Emperor Nan felt a headache coming on. How tenacious was this kind of person's vitality? Su Yin was not surprised. The heaven patching technique could also do that. As long as the primordial spirit of this kind of person was not destroyed, they could reconstruct a broken battle physique. Of course, without healing sacred techniques like the heaven patching technique and the immortal blood indestructible technique, it was really difficult to reconstruct the body with one's own strength. If I can kill you once, I can kill you a second time, a third time, or even a fourth time, Su Yin said coldly. Let's see how many lives you have to let me kill you. I have my own methods to kill you. You're forcing me to pull out weeds. Once Xian Tyrant's second clone was revived, who could be a match for it? Even the strongest Xian Huiyu would not be able to stop it and would be defeated. Fourth update, brothers. Please count the votes. Chapter 1376. Xian Huiyu's broken body was covered in a thick, bloody light. Her blood was very special. It contained a rich vitality that could regenerate. It was as if a furnace of medicine was burning. The immortal blood indestructible art was the secret art of the Xian people. The stronger the bloodline, the more effective this secret art would be. It could extract the ancestral energy in the immortal blood to reconstruct a broken body. Xian Huiyu had a high status among the Xian people. Her father was Xian Tyrant, an ancestor-level expert. There was no need to talk about her bloodline. However, with Xian Huiyu's current state, the immortal blood indestructible art could not completely reconstruct her body. Even if it could, she would need a long time to recuperate. Given Xian Huiyu's current state, what other tricks did she have? What kind of power could she unleash? Use whatever tricks you have. A bone-chilling light flashed in Su Yan's eyes. Xian Huiyu had her trump cards, but so did Su Yin. The dragon totem on his arm was in a state of revival. It could unleash the dragon totem's power at any time. Back in Dragon City, the dragon totem had fallen into a dormant state after absorbing the power of the 9 dragons. It had not awakened for many years. Su Yin could do nothing about it. However, in the Origin Dao Enlightenment Land, the dragon totem had absorbed a large amount of Xianhuang origin energy and awakened. Although he did not know how powerful the dragon totem was, Su Yin knew that the dragon totem had absorbed the power of the 9 dragons. It was the 9 great founders of Dragon City. 9 peerless true dragons had created Dragon City, which nurtured immortal geniuses. Even the weakest of them must be an expert at Xian Huiyu's level. Kiki, Xian Huiyu laughed sinisterly. She wanted nothing more than to grind Su Yan's bones to dust. She had been defeated by an immortal realm expert. Although Su Yin had relied on external help, it was a fact that she had been defeated. If news of this spread, she, Xian Huiyu, would lose face among her peers. I have a bad feeling about this. The old leader and the others' expressions changed slightly. Did Xian Huiyu bring some kind of great killing weapon? Su Yin was powerful, but he was still in the immortal realm. If he encountered an unpredictable danger, the situation would be extremely troublesome. Since you forced me to pull the weeds, I'll fulfill your wishes. Just as Xian Huiyu finished speaking, a series of footsteps could be heard. Many people felt troubled. Could it be that Xian Huiyu wasn't the only one who came to the lower realm? Were there other experts from the Xian people? What is that? Does it look like a tinman? Bao Kai was stunned. He saw a little golden man walking over. He was only the size of a fist, and his entire body was golden. He didn't seem to be very powerful, but there was an unfathomable light flowing around him. That is, Dragon Nine's expression darkened as he observed the battle from afar. His voice trembled as he said, "This is the legendary extreme Dao immortal metal. Are you sure? Is this made from the legendary extreme Dao immortal metal?" The expressions of the group of guards from Dragon City changed greatly, each and every one of their hearts trembling. Extreme Dao immortal metal? This was a legendary treasure. To be exact, it was also a type of supreme medicine. It should be extreme Dao immortal metal. This is going to be troublesome. Who can match it? Dragon Nine's scalp went numb. Using the extreme Dao immortal metal to forge a humanoid creature? Could it be an avatar of some terrifying existence? Boom! At this moment, the metallic tinman suddenly surged with monstrous vitality, and it was even accompanied by the sound of a heartbeat. It was like thunder exploding in the void. The sound was deafening. "It's alive." Chi-Fo and the others' expressions changed. Even as powerful as they were still shaken by the sound of the heartbeat. The chi and blood in their bodies were churning, and they were about to explode. Bao Kai was aghast. What kind of creature was this? How could it be so powerful? Could it be a doppelganger? Dragon 9 said in a panic. A doppelganger forged from extreme Dao immortal metal. This is going to be troublesome. I didn't expect there to be an expert in your realm who knows what's what. Xian Huiyu sneered. That's right. It's extreme Dao immortal metal. You guys should feel honored to be able to die under my father's hands. An old monster's doppelganger. Bao Kai sucked in a cold breath, and they all felt a headache. Dragon 9 and the others were very clear that extreme Dao immortal metal was a supreme medicine for alchemists. It could be used to refine grade 9 golden pills. It was said that there was once an alchemist who used extreme Dao immortal metal to refine a pill, creating an immortal Dao realm expert. For alchemists, extreme Dao immortal metal could be used to refine top immortal Dao supreme treasures. Its value is too shocking. It could also be called the strongest treasure material. A doppelganger refined from the strongest treasure material, even for Xian Tyran, would suddenly die. As long as the extreme Dao immortal metal was still there, then he could rely on the extreme Dao immortal metal to extend his life, and he would have a long lifespan. The main thing was that the extreme Dao immortal metal was very special. It was the strongest treasure material. Most importantly, the extreme Dao immortal metal was invincible. Who could match it? Only a perfected, indestructible body could compete with it in terms of physical strength. Boom! All of a sudden, the Tinman revived. Divine light shot out, and the universe was shaken. Su Yin coughed up blood, and the chi and blood in his body trembled chaotically. Just the power that the Tinman leaked out was difficult for him to resist. He felt suffocated, and it was extremely difficult for him to breathe. Let's see what you have to resist it. Xian Huiyu's face was cold. After all, the extreme Dao immortal metal was a doppelganger that her father had painstakingly refined. Once it was destroyed, it would be a fatal blow to her father. Unless it was absolutely necessary, she would not use Xian Tyran's doppelganger. However, she had no choice now. The Xian people's losses were already heavy enough. Now, they did not lack the extreme Dao immortal metal. Boom! The Tinman strode through the starry sky, and each step was like thunder. Wherever it passed, the heavens collapsed and the earth cracked. The mountains and seas roared. It was as if the end of the universe had arrived. The fluctuations that the Tinman emitted were too shocking. Moreover, it opened its cold eyes and looked down on all life in the universe. It was suffused with great power. Countless creatures trembled, and they were about to kneel on the ground. What level of creature was this? It was truly unbelievable. However, when the Tinman's aura soared again, it simply filled the entire Xianhuang universe, oppressing billions of creatures. Countless people trembled. What level of supreme creature was this? Suddenly, the Xianhuang seal that covered the outer realm faintly seemed to be reviving. A flag was awakening to suppress the Tinman. Xian Tyron's expression changed slightly, and he instantly suppressed the Tinman's power. Once too much power erupted, it would definitely be targeted by the seal. However, in its current state, it was enough to destroy these undying beings. This Tinman is too powerful. It directly activated the power of the seal. What level of expert is it? Yuan and the others cried out. Their hearts were in chaos. What should they do? How could they resist? Suddenly, they saw Su Yin standing in the void very calmly. His deep eyes shot out cold light in all directions. His expression calmed Iron Rooster and the others down. Perhaps Su Yin still had a way to suppress the Tinman. You can't stop it. Su Yin's posture was also caught by Xian Huiyu. She did not believe that Su Yin could resist the extreme Dao immortal metal. I can't stop it, but someone can, Su Yin said confidently. His words angered Xian Tyran. Other than that strange person in the Xianhuang universe, who else could stop him? Even if it was Xian Tyran's clone, who would be able to stop him if he didn't have the battle prowess of the peak era and relied solely on the extreme Dao immortal metal's invincible battle physique? Junior, I'll suppress you first, the Tinman said coldly and charged at Su Yin. It was almost impossible to see his movements. Then, the Tinman arrived in front of Su Yin. His entire aura also erupted. Divine light was millions of feet long, resplendent and dazzling, so dazzling that one's eyes were about to bleed. A small person the size of a fist erupted with boundless divine force, erupting with supreme, immortal Tao order, terrifying to the extreme. Ah! Su Yin let out a furious roar. It was like heavenly thunder exploding in the void, resounding throughout the entire Xianhuang universe. Human Emperor, invincible. Human Emperor, invincible. Human Emperor, invincible. Countless living beings roared. This was their belief. At this moment, Su Yin had become their spiritual support. As long as the Human Emperor didn't fall, they would never believe that the Xianhuang universe would be conquered by the Xian people. Just as the tiny golden person pushed the energy that was even more turbulent than the sea towards Su Yin, covering the sky and covering the earth. Everyone saw that Su Yin was waving his fist, although his form and aura seemed very weak in front of the Tinman's power. However, the moment Su Yin waved his fist, his entire arm became resplendent and blazing. The strength that surged out could destroy the universe. Boom! A loud explosion sounded. It was even more deafening than thunder, shattering heaven and earth. Kill! Su Yin let out a long roar. The dragon fist erupted, shattering the entire space and time. It exploded the golden energy that filled the sky and collapsed the power of the extreme Tao immortal metal. That spout-sized stiff body stiffened. A strange expression appeared on his honest face. After thinking about it, he felt that he had been tricked by Su Yin 100 years ago. It turned out that the true dragon had always been with him. This was a totem. It was resplendent and dazzling. The dragon fist erupted and hammered the Tinman's fist with lightning speed. The world exploded with the sound of thunder. Large cracks appeared in the void one after another and continued to spread toward the distant world. The entire starry sky was crippled and destroyed. The shocking collision of energy caused a deafening sound. Impossible! Xian Huiyu lost his composure. It was as if his throat had been cut. He couldn't say a word. He was so angry that his broken body trembled. His injuries worsened, and he coughed up blood violently. She felt a sense of fear. Once Xian Tyran's clone was damaged, his body would suffer a heavy blow. His body had suffered a heavy blow, and the most dangerous thing was that he was facing death. In this world, there were gains and losses. Having a second clone of the extreme Tao immortal metal was ridiculously powerful. However, there were also losses. However, how could Su Yan's strength resist a clone made of the extreme Tao immortal metal? Break again! Su Yan roared. His black hair danced wildly. A dragon drilled out from his entire arm and circled around it. It was surrounded by a prehistoric aura. The supreme suppression caused the Tinman to tremble. This was the strongest state of the dragon totem. He raised his fist and attacked. He wanted to break through 10,000 Dao. Even the fist-sized Tinman was about to be swallowed by the true dragon, crushed and smashed into ashes. Roar! The Tinman's eyes widened in anger. His divine might overflowed. Without any hesitation, he revived with the strongest power. In an instant, his aura was terrifying to the extreme. It was as if a supreme being of a generation had descended. The entire Xianhuang universe trembled and was about to collapse. Not good. Suyan's expression changed drastically. The Tinman's battle prowess was not limited to this. He had the supreme battle prowess of the Xian people's ancestors. The dragon totem was suppressed to the point of dimming. It was about to enter a state of nothingness. However, the instant the Tinman fully revived, the Xianhuang seal surged. Millions and millions of murderous auras gathered. The celestial emperor's war banner was waved. The prehistoric Big Brother's figure appeared. He waved the war banner. Millions and millions of murderous auras descended. It was as if a blood-colored Milky Way from the 9 heavens had begun to descend. The Tinman trembled violently. He couldn't resist at all. No matter how strong he was, he couldn't resist the celestial emperor's war banner's shocking seal. His powerful aura was beaten to the bottom. Pooh! Xiantiren's main body coughed out a mouthful of blood. His terrifying body was torn apart, about to explode into a mass of bloody light. The commotion was extremely terrifying. The vast void was dyed red with blood. The scene was shocking. The giants seemed to be withering. The effects were far-reaching. The scattering of chi and blood was majestic and vast. The vast void was exceptionally beautiful. Chapter 1377. The vast void in the outer realm was dyed red with blood, and a tragic aura surged. Every blob of blood could crush the long river of nothingness. It was as if a powerhouse of the immortal path was dying, and a supreme life form was evaporating. The scene was too terrifying. Everyone in the universe was stunned. They could clearly see that there was a terrifying life form burning outside the Xianhuang universe. It could even melt the entire Xianhuang universe. However, this supreme life form rapidly declined in an extremely short period of time. Blood spilled like a waterfall, and a vast and tragic aura shocked all living beings. No! No! Xian Huihui screamed. Xian Huiyu let out a shrill scream as his entire body trembled. How could this be? How could this be? The dragon totem had been silent for too long. Now that it had erupted, it had forced Xiantiren's clone to enter his strongest state. In the end, it had failed, and it had dealt a heavy blow to Xiantiren. The seal of the Xianhuang universe was too strong. When a powerhouse's clone is severely injured, his main body will also be severely injured. The 9 dragons said excitedly, "Perhaps this powerhouse won't be able to hold on and will die. In that case, it'll be enough to deter the Xian people from acting rashly." The entire Xianhuang universe was filled with excitement. Were they going to win? Were they going to buy more time? In the outer realm, a tragic aura rippled. Crack! Xiantiren's physical body was torn apart, and his aura declined sharply. His immortal path was on the verge of disintegrating. Cracks even appeared on his immortal path. This is bad. The second Xian people's old ancestors' expression changed. The damage to his immortal path would definitely affect Xiantiren's realm, and his realm might even fall. He might not even be able to live for long. "Brother, help me!" Xiantiren screamed. He felt that he could not hold on any longer. Xian Chonghe gritted his teeth. He instantly extended his hands and suppressed Xiantiren's collapsing life form. At the same time, he opened his mouth and spat out mouthfuls of life energy into Xiantiren's physical body, causing his broken body to glow. Exuberant life energy circulated in his body, nourishing his broken body. Roar! Xiantiren also took the opportunity to open his eyes and regain his consciousness. He let out a low roar and pushed his exuberant, immortal blood back into his corporeal body, temporarily stabilizing his injured corporeal body and stabilizing his collapsing immortal path. Although he had stabilized his injuries, they were too severe. His hair was disheveled and his eyes were filled with rage. He really didn't expect that he would be defeated so miserably. He really did not expect that Su Yan would have a true dragon protecting his body. He almost lost the entire game. Xian Changhe's aura declined, and his vitality was greatly damaged. The two old ancestors were heavily injured. Among them, Xian Tyron's loss was almost impossible to make up for. It was too tragic and too heavy. The people of the Xian people were silent. Could it be that the black-yellow universe still had great luck? The Xian people had taken action one after another before the time of destruction came, but they returned in defeat one after another. Every time they attacked the black-yellow universe, the Xian people would also suffer heavy losses. If they continued to suffer losses, the fate of their race would be affected. We haven't completely lost yet. There's still a chance. There's still a chance. Xian Tyron's eyes were mournful. In the black-yellow universe, his clone had no energy and was about to become an empty shell. However, the extreme Tao immortal metal was indestructible and did not shatter. Whoosh! Suddenly, the extreme Tao immortal metal flew toward Xian Huiyu. This thing actually didn't break. How hard is it? Su Yan's expression changed. The dragon totem had only used one attack. When it attacked Xian Tyron's clone just now, the dragon totem's power had been exhausted. It was impossible for it to use a second attack. Even though Xian Tyron's clone had completely lost his self-awareness and was unable to cause any trouble, Xian Tyron's clone was unable to do anything. However, the clone tempered by the extreme Tao immortal metal still had a faint trace of Xian Tyron's life. Now, it directly led the clone to turn into a golden stream of light, filled with the power of the extreme Tao. It was as brilliant as a golden dragon and flew towards Xian Huiyu. Buzz! The golden stream of light was especially shocking. It emitted the power of the extreme Tao and covered Xian Huiyu's broken body. From the next moment, Xian Huiyu's broken body was covered with a layer of golden energy. It surged with terrifying fluctuations, distorting space and time. It was difficult for the universe to bear it. Chi! At this time, a figure with monstrous demonic light attacked. Kill! East Demon roared and swung his black halberd at Xian Huiyu. This attack contained his strongest battle strength. The halberd shone brightly, splitting space and time. Its offensive power was unparalleled. Bam! The attack landed squarely on Xian Huiyu's body, causing a deafening boom to ring out. Sparks began to fly as well. However, the result made everyone pale. The halberd did not tear apart the golden material. Instead, the extreme Tao immortal metal turned into a golden armor that completely covered Xian Huiyu. It was as if an indestructible golden body had been born. Kill her quickly. Join hands and kill her. Sifo and the others were stunned. Although Xian Tyron's clone was destroyed, the extreme Tao immortal metal armor protected Xian Huiyu. Boom! In a short period of time, the 9-dragon seal, the demon's subduing pestle, the 36 great Tao immortal pearls, and the black halberd. The 4 supreme immortal treasures smashed towards Xian Huiyu. However, no matter how strong they were, it was difficult to shake Xian Huiyu's body. The extreme Tao immortal metal turned into energy order and was filled with the power of the extreme Tao immortal metal. It blocked the energy of the 4 supreme immortal treasures. Although Xian Huiyu's body was shaking, it did not harm her vital energy at all. I bet that you have used up all your trump cards. Xian Huiyu's eyes were ice cold. Not only was the extreme Tao immortal metal fusing with her broken body, but the golden energy that permeated the air was also nourishing her broken body and healing it. Even her arms that had been torn apart by Su Yan had grown back. Unfortunately, the extreme Tao immortal metal is indestructible. The Xian people have already paid the price. Now is the time for you to pay the price. Xian Huiyu raised her hand and grabbed East Demon's black halberd. Kacha! The halberd shone and tried to block, but it was useless. Xian Huiyu had obtained an extremely terrifying battle prowess. The instant the extreme Dao immortal metal armor was released, her strength was shocking, and she broke the halberd in half. Pooh! East Demon spat out a mouthful of blood and was sent flying. He had been hit by Xian Huiyu's palm, and his body was shattered. His flesh was badly mangled, and his body was smashed into the depths of the starry sky. It was difficult for him to get up. Ha ha! Xian Huiyu was laughing loudly. The golden armor on her body shone brightly, making her look like a great demon, a great immortal. The aura she emitted was too shocking. It could destroy the universe. She raised her hand and hit the demon fall pestle until it wailed. Even West Buddha was sent flying, and his body smashed into a star. This is bad. Her strength is too strong. Even the defensive power can't break through it. We are in big trouble now. Su Yan, hurry up and think of a way. Otherwise, we will all die. Bao Kai and the others were panicking. The extreme Dao immortal metal armor protected Xian Huiyu and even gave her unparalleled battle prowess. She pushed aside the four experts, and in the next moment, she rushed towards Su Yan. Is there a way to break through it? Su Yan asked the Golden Maiden. This armor can be broken. It's very difficult. The Golden Maiden shook her head and transmitted her voice. This is an armor made of extreme Dao immortal metal. Even the entire immortal heavenly domain's immortal orthodoxies, this kind of armor is hard to find. It can even be called an indestructible armor. But there is one thing, the Golden Woman continued. If you can hold on for a certain amount of time, she will fall. The battle armor formed from extreme Dao immortal gold will fuse with this woman's flesh. Immortal gold, like extreme Dao immortal gold, can not only be refined into weapons, it can also be used as a type of supreme great medicine. This is a substance second only to ultimate precious medicines. Extreme Dao immortal metal contains the power of the extreme Dao. It is a rare treasure. This woman's injuries are serious. Now that she is fused with the power of the extreme Dao immortal metal, although her battle prowess will skyrocket in a short period of time, it will also be a heavy blow to her body. If this continues, her injuries will worsen. She will be lucky to survive. I have to say, the Xian people's old ancestor is really ruthless. But this woman can't do anything. Death is either way, so I might as well fight you to death. So that's how it is. Su Yan's eyes emitted a cold light. He said, your performance is not bad. If I can survive, I will abolish your maid's status and make you my concubine. Puffed. The Golden Maiden was so angry that her face turned red. She had been imprisoned by Su Yan for dozens of years. If Su Yan really survived, the Golden Maiden trembled with anger at the thought of her shameless life in the future. I will definitely be able to break out of this situation. Su Yan stepped on the universe. His body seemed to have fused with the universe. It was a little blurry, but it was especially tall and majestic. All the pores on his body began to spew out dense, mysterious characters that scattered in the vast, starry sky. You will die miserably. Xian Huiyu rushed over. She didn't have much time. She had to destroy Su Yan as soon as possible. However, just as Xian Huiyu broke into the universe where Su Yan was located, the world changed. The world had changed. As Su Yan's hands moved through the void, the vast starry sky suddenly started to rotate along with his palms. A mark flashed between Su Yan's eyebrows, commanding the universe. Universe, help me succeed. Su Yan's voice cut through the pitch-black universe. For a time, hundreds and thousands of starfields lit up. It was as if the once divided continents were being pushed by Su Yan and began to move and recombine. What kind of method is this? The Xian people's array grandmaster's expression changed greatly. They seemed to see the shattered universe healing and recombining. Although it wasn't the entire universe being reconstructed, the reconstruction of 1/10 or 2/10 of a universe had already given birth to a majestic storm. Could it be? Xian Changhe cried out. Could it be that the secret of evolution of the universe really exists, and he even obtained it? The evolution of life in a universe can be said to be the most terrifying path of evolution. The seriously injured Xian Tyran also exclaimed, "Su Yan has become so strong in the past few days. Perhaps it really has a lot to do with this method." Our previous guest was right. This is the strongest treasure of the universe. Boom! The universe was changing, and a corner of the universe rumbled. Heaven and earth rotated. The starry sky changed paths, and the sun and moon competed for glory. This scene shocked everyone in the world. Su Yin commanded the universe. His figure passed through the star fields, and he pushed billions of stars, swallowing the river of time. "Reconstruct," Su Yin roared. The vast space-time gave birth to a huge fluctuation of life. The shattered star fields were reconstructed, melting into mountains and rivers. It was as if an immortal star that had been sleeping for millions of years was being revived. It surged with a terrifying pressure that was boundless. Chapter 1378. Hundreds and thousands of star fields were combined together, and the once shattered land was reconstructed, surging with an ancient and majestic aura. The vast star field was vast and boundless, surging with a vast energy tide. Is this the original appearance of our Xianhuang universe? If it is completely reconstructed, it will be a complete continent, an entire starfield, and not the current state of being riddled with holes. Many people were shocked. What had the Xianhuang universe experienced in the past? The entire universe was riddled with holes, and it needed Su Yin to reconstruct it to restore the Xianhuang universe to its strongest state. The corner of the universe repeated itself, and Su Yin commanded the Xianhuang universe. He alone moved billions of stars and stepped on the universe. He was like a resurrected war immortal, erupting with light that shot into the sky. This scene shocked everyone. They could not believe the scene in front of them. Hundreds and thousands of star fields were being reconstructed, and the world that evolved was too vast and vast. It was as if a corner of the Xianhuang universe had been revived, surging with the might of the heavens, gushing with thousands of galaxies, and rotating with billions of stars. Buzz! Su Yan's entire body blazed, blooming with brilliant light. His figure gradually became majestic, as if he had merged with heaven and earth. The supreme human emperor was born, commanding the Xianhuang universe. This was also the limit of Su Yan's state. A pair of majestic eyes stared at Xian Huiyu and roared, "Come, you've really exceeded my expectations. You can even reconstruct the Xianhuang universe." Xian Huiyu's broken body, which was covered in golden armor, surged with vast immortal Tao power. Vaguely, the aura of the extreme realm of Tao leaked out, intimidating everyone. All living beings were suppressed, and Yuan and the others were no exception. The extreme Tao immortal metal was not an ordinary supreme treasure after all. Now that it had merged with Xian Huiyu's broken body, it made her aura stronger and more powerful. An immortal and indestructible aura surged out, shattering space and time and destroying heaven and earth. Layers of immortal Tao light surged out of her body. Because she had refined the energy of the extreme Tao immortal metal, her aura was too terrifying. Heaven and earth were melted into a huge black hole, stirring people's hearts. Everyone was nervous and trembling. Could it be that Su Xianren in this state could not suppress Xian Huiyu? Boom! The sky was shaking, and the stars were shaking. The terrifying structure of the world was about to be torn apart by the energy fluctuations released by her body. Child's play. If you had integrated the energy of the entire black-yellow universe, I would have given you some leeway. But with your current strength, what can you do to me? Xian Huiyu wasn't afraid at all. Her golden battle armor burned to the limit. She was like a blurry immortal king as she rushed over, rushing towards the universe that Su Yan had created. "Then let's see how hard you are," Su Yan angrily roared. His blood-stained clothes fluttered in the wind. His eyes widened. He could only win this battle. He could not afford to lose. Boom! Countless galaxies filled the sky, and countless stars lined up. The vast territory revolved. and he pushed forth a boundless amount of black-yellow universe energy to suppress Xian Huiyu. Boom! The sound of thunder exploded in the black-yellow universe. It was as if the eternal space-time had been shaken open, and the inextinguishable light of calamity was unleashed. A source of energy that was even more shocking than the abyssal sea came crashing down towards Xian Huiyu. This was the power of the black-yellow universe, and it was extremely powerful. It was like a tsunami weighing billions of tons, and it possessed the power to destroy an entire world. Countless people were silent. They opened their eyes wide, wanting to see the scene of Xian Huiyu being destroyed. A loud sound echoed in the universe. The scene was too spectacular. Xian Huiyu was drowned by the divine power that filled the sky. Even her insufferably arrogant aura was suppressed. What a black-yellow universe! Xian Huiyu clenched her fists. She was drowned in the ocean of killing. No matter how astonishing her strength was, it was difficult for her to move even half a step. Although Xian Huiyu was bound, the golden battle armor on her body was extremely dazzling. It was as if an indestructible sun was being bombarded by billions of energy. Countless people were silent. They did not say a word. They were waiting. As they waited, their hearts raced and thumped loudly. "You won't be able to kill me!" Xian Huiyu let out a shrill cry. The golden battle armor was refined from extreme Dao immortal metal. It was powerful and indestructible. No matter how shocking the waves were, they could not break through the defense of the battle armor and attack Xian Huiyu's body. However, Suyin also intended to use this form of energy to tear through Xian Huiyu's defense. The reason for this was that the profound yellow cosmos was too badly damaged. If it had been a complete, great cosmos, Suyin would have been able to suppress Xian Huiyu with the control of the profound yellow cosmos. Although he would not have been able to kill Xian Huiyu, he would have been able to last until Xian Huiyu reached his limit. Time passed by slowly. The energy light that filled the sky exploded when it collided with Xian Huiyu. Although it could not break through her defense, as time passed, Xian Huiyu's expression changed. She could see through Su Yan's intentions. He seemed to have seen through her condition and wanted to trap her. "You want to exhaust me to death? Dream on." Xian Huiyu let out a long cry. Her body began to move with difficulty. Her hands were faintly forming seals. "Huiyu, she's my most outstanding child." In the outer realm, Xian Tairan was roaring like an old lion. Xian Huiyu was using the ultimate skill of the Xian people. However, the more energy she absorbed from the extreme Dao immortal metal, the more severe the damage to her body would be. In the end, Xian Huiyu was destined to die. She was a future ancestor of the Xian people. She was highly regarded by the Xian people. Now, Xian Huiyu had no choice but to take this step. If she did not resolve the crisis before her, her condition would not allow her to survive. In an instant, her hands formed seals. Her aura changed as well. She was like a vague immortal king who looked down on all life in the universe. It was also like a vast world of immortals that gave birth to the supreme order of the immortal Tao. Rumble. An extremely majestic aura filled the air. It was accompanied by a vast prehistoric aura. With a rumble, it came crashing down. This was the most powerful divine ability in history, the Immortal Seal. At this moment, Xian Huiyu was a supreme existence. He formed an imprint that could destroy the heaven and earth. The boundless energy of heaven and earth was also destroyed. When the majestic imprint attacked, it was as if the structure of the universe had collapsed and a vast territory had been destroyed. A fatal crisis struck. Suyin was coughing up blood. The seal had not been turned over. His body could not withstand it and was about to self-destruct. This was the Immortal Seal. Even if an immortal Tao cultivator used a peerless secret technique, who could match it? The current structure was earth-shattering. However, once Xian Huiyu risked her life and used a supreme technique, she would definitely be able to break the current deadlock. Su Yan's pupils dilated. Just as the Immortal Seal was about to hit him, his entire body surged with an immeasurable aura. His figure enlarged. It was as if he had filled the universe and turned into an immeasurable, true immortal. The trembling energy in the sky swarmed towards Su Yan. The structure of the universe also began to rotate. It was as if a giant yin and yang fish had split, turning into two giant arms that spanned billions of miles. They were filled with an indescribable, immeasurable divine might. Su Yan commanded the Xinhuang. In the end, he activated a supreme divine ability that granted him peerless combat strength. The two giant golden hands covered heaven abyss, reaching the peak of the universe, vast and boundless divine might. The two giant palms were so magnificent that they seemed to fill the entire Xianhuang universe. They contained boundless, profound mysteries. Immeasurable size. The immeasurable size was a supreme technique of the immortal Tao domain. It was very difficult for Su Yan to use it. However, with the help of the Xianhuang universe, the situation was different. He could directly use this shocking secret technique of the immortal Tao. The two giant hands seemed to represent heaven and earth. Immeasurable size palm. Su Yan roared. His figure seemed to merge into one with the universe. He waved his palms, combining them into one. Millions and millions of creatures raised their heads, gazing into the starry sky. His palm was too large, stars revolving around his fingertips one after another, expanse after expanse of starry seas also floating in his palm. Just how imposing was this scene? The boundless giant palms supported the peak of the sky with one hand and the earth with the other. The two giant hands represented the heavens. When the earth and the earth were combined, they evolved into the universe, containing boundless, profound mysteries. Everyone felt that the moment Su Yan's giant hands combined into one, everything was shattered, no longer existing, consigned to eternal damnation. It was as if the heavens and the earth had closed, falling into a state of chaos. The entire world fell silent. Only the giant palms and the vast and boundless divine might were spreading. Even Zhang Liang was stunned. This was the boundless palm? Wasn't a little too inconceivable? Su Yan was in the state of commanding heaven and earth, and it was equivalent to forming two hands of the universe to crush Xian Huiyu. The expressions of the Xian people in the outside world were especially ugly. Su Yan, who was only at the immortal realm, could actually fight with them to this extent. If his cultivation base was profound and he was an expert of the immortal path domain, the consequences would be unimaginable. Even if we can't capture him, we have to kill him. Xian Chang's tone was gloomy. This person had to be eliminated. His fate was too strong. He had withstood so many attacks. It was really hard to believe that he was only a young man who had cultivated for 100 years. Boom! Suddenly, a loud sound rang out. The giant palms trembled violently. If one looked carefully, they would see that layers of cracks had appeared on the giant palms. It was as if an earthquake was spreading. The cracks began to engulf the entire giant palms at an extremely fast speed. The immeasurable size palm exploded at a speed visible to the naked eye. A figure rushed out. Xian Huiyu was still alive, but his condition was very strange. His eyes were filled with coldness, like a bottomless abyss. It was as if he had changed into another person. The old leader and the others turned pale. What was going on? Then their scalps went numb. They saw the person in the golden armor reach out his palm, and a remnant soul floated in his palm. I want him dead. Father, kill him, kill him. The remnant soul roared, his eyes filled with malevolence and resentment. His clone's remnant soul light awakened, protected his daughter's remnant soul, and took control of this remnant body. Kill him. Xian Huiyu's remnant soul was mad with hatred. She had the Tao immortal metal protecting her, but she still failed. Her remnant soul was about to be extinguished. At the critical moment, Xian Tairan took control of her remnant body. I failed. Su Yan's eyes dimmed. He had failed. He was almost at his wit's end. After all, he had reconstructed a corner of the universe. Su Yan had almost exhausted his strength. It was difficult for him to launch a second powerful attack. Puff. Then his body trembled violently, and he was about to collapse. Xian Tairan did not say a word, but he waved his hand and hit Su Yan's body. Puff. Su Yan's entire body almost collapsed. At the critical moment, the indestructible body was activated again and blocked the inevitable death. Young man, you forced me to this extent. You won't live. Xian Tairan was very calm, but he was also very cruel. He raised his hand again and attacked Su Yan's fleshly body that had been sent flying. He wanted to shatter the top of Su Yan's head and grab his primordial spirit. Su Yan tried his best to erupt with power, wanting to resist. However, the Tao Immortal Metal's power was still there. Su Yan could not block it at all. The surging power locked Su Yan's body. His palm was about to land on Su Yan's head. Chirp! Chirp! Suddenly, the path ahead was blocked. A huge creature spread its wings and soared. It was like a silver phoenix bathed in silver flames. Miser! Su Yan's eyes were red. His heart trembled violently, and he let out a loud roar. The sound waves shattered the void. Chirp! 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 The chirp was filled with sorrow as it echoed between heaven and earth. The miser blocked Xian Tairan's power, but its body was torn apart by the slap. Its feathers flew everywhere. It fell from the starry sky and smashed into a meteorite. The banquet continues. I've updated the form of the great boundless palm. Everyone, follow my Weibo. Send a message to my public account and search for Ye Qingtian, the Nine Heavens Divine Sovereign. Chapter 1379. Cheapskate. The experts of the Taoist temple shouted. Many old people could barely stand. The temple master had died in battle. Had the creature raised by the temple master also died in battle? A huge creature died and blood fell from the sky. Blood gushed out from its silver body as it ruthlessly smashed into a meteor. The flowing blood dyed the entire meteor red. Even the planet was trembling violently. It could not bear it and was about to self-destruct. Roar, the Baokai roared. Its eyes were red and tears rolled down its face. Its hair stood on end. It was incomparably crazy. The world seemed to be covered in blood. The blood of Cheapskate spilled down and dyed the starry sky red. Countless people cried bitterly. Among the 10 undying beings, Cheapskate should have fallen. That palm was too powerful. Who could match it? With Cheapskate's combat strength, it was impossible to block it. B** starred. Su Yan was filled with grief and indignation. His blood-stained hair danced wildly like an injured beast. His furious aura erupted, wanting to tear the sky, shatter the entire world, and destroy Xian Tairan. He roared as his body soared into the sky, releasing a sword light that was tens of thousands of feet long. Go! Cheapskate suddenly came back to life. Using all the power of his primordial spirit, he roared, Go, go! He did not want Su Yan to continue fighting. With Xian Tairan's current state, Su Yan could not stop Xian Tairan at all. If he continued to fight, he would only be throwing his life away. Instead of throwing his life away, it was better to survive and escape from the black-yellow universe. Cheapskate knew very well that they would not survive. When Xian Tairan went crazy, he would slaughter all the undying beings. No one would be able to survive. He wanted Su Yan to leave along the Emperor's Road. He believed that Su Yan would definitely be able to stand up in the future and avenge him. Su Yan's eyes were like lightning. His roar made the stars tremble. The anger of grief and indignation burned, and the blood in his chest was released. His Tao was to move forward bravely and never retreat. He was the guardian of the black-yellow universe. How could he retreat half a step? He was the strongest person in the black-yellow universe. How could he abandon his people and escape alone? Chi! Su Yan's body burned with raging flames, and his hair danced in the wind. He drew his universe weapon and unleashed the immortal slash at Xian Tairan. Poor worm. Xian Tairan's expression was as cold as ice. He suddenly raised his palm. No matter how sharp the sword light was, no matter how terrifying this supreme art was, how could it break through his golden armor formed from the extreme Tao Immortal Metal? The sword aura that filled the sky like an ocean, and the sword intent that seemed like it could destroy the heavens were directly smashed into pieces by his palm. Cien Tyran had a cold expression on his face as he slammed his palm forward once more, aiming for Su Yan's universe soldier. Crack! The sect-killing sword was directly broken, the sword body shattered. There was also a force that attacked Su Yan's body. A palm strike worsened his injuries once again. Even his powerful, imperishable golden body began to crack and was about to be destroyed. Pooh! Su Yan spat out a mouthful of blood. His body flew out and fell far away. Su Yan's hair was disheveled, and he stood up once again. He was bathed in blood, and his roar shook the heavens. Was he defeated? Yes, he was defeated. However, Su Yan's heart was filled with anger. He would not admit defeat. He would not fall until the final moment, unless he died in battle while charging forward. Suddenly, Cien Tyran's body staggered, and he looked like he was about to fall to the ground. His life aura weakened, and his lifespan seemed to be on the verge of drying up. He staggered and could not even stand properly. I don't have much time left. Cien Tyran forcefully stabilized himself. After all, this was not his body. Although he was connected to Su Yan's bloodline, he could not occupy his body for long. He had to quickly suppress Su Yan and leave. Otherwise, this mission would be a complete failure. Moreover, Xian Huiyu's remnant soul was still there. As long as he returned to the Xian people, there was hope that he could reconstruct Xian Huiyu's body. If he failed, the problem would be huge. The Xian people had suffered great losses in this battle. Although Cien Tyran was the patriarch of the Xian people, such losses would cause his status to fall. Anyone can live, but not you. Cien Tyran's expression was cold. He waved his fist and punched Su Yan's body. He did not believe that Su Yan could maintain this state for long. Dragon essence. The Baokai roared angrily, and its aura shook heaven and earth. All of the dragon essence surged out of its body. In an instant, the Tai Baotsai's aura changed. 9 true dragons appeared behind its back, and the 9 dragons intertwined with each other. The aura of the ancestral dragon rose, and it was as if a giant dragon had been born. The Tai Baokai roared. Soaring dragon in the sky. The Tai Baokai roared. Its aura was world-shaking, and it could overturn rivers and seas. It was omnipotent. Its figure instantly tore through time and space, and it quickly charged in front of Su Yan. It carried Su Yan and began to fly wildly. This was the soaring dragon in the ancestral dragon's secret technique. Its speed was terrifying. Even someone as strong as Cien Tyran could not catch up to the Tai Baokai in a short period of time. Get down from me, Cien Tyran shouted coldly. Golden ripples surged from his mouth and nose, and it was boundless. It suppressed the heaven and earth and shattered the space in this area. The Tai Baokai, who was flying wildly, was immediately shaken and fell down. This old woman has gone crazy. He will kill everyone here. Hurry up and leave. The Baokai raised its head and roared. If it was really such a cruel ending, it would be better to send Su Yan away. They believed that in the future, Su Yan would definitely be able to stand up and take revenge for them. Bang! Before the Baokai could finish its words, its head caved in from Cien Tyran's slap. Its panda body trembled, and blood and bones sputtered out. Baokai! Su Yan roared angrily. His black hair that was dyed with blood was scattered and covered his face. Only a pair of eyes that were mournful and frightening could be seen. His eyes were bloodshot and emitted a sword glow. His heart was filled with grief and anger. Don't worry, I won't kill it, Cien Tyran sneered. At this moment, he appeared very calm and did not take the initiative to attack. Instead, he said, I can't bear to kill a beast that has mastered the ancestral dragon's secret technique. I will bring it back to my clan and add a peerless secret technique to my clan. Actually, my biggest goal in coming here is you. Cien Tyran stared at Su Yan and said coldly, They can all live, but you can't. If you dare to leave here, I guarantee that no one in the entire mysterious yellow universe will survive. They will all be buried with you. Don't doubt my words. Although I don't have much time left, I'm confident that I'll be able to destroy the entire dark yellow lineage and wipe out the entire universe before my life ends." This gloomy voice seemed to echo out from purgatory. Many people felt their blood stop flowing and were about to be frozen. "Even if you suppress Su Yin, we won't be able to live." Yuan stepped forward and said with a sullen face, "What's the point of saying this? Su Yin, as long as you survive, there will be hope for you to avenge us in the future. Su Yin, no one will blame you for leaving. Hurry up and leave." Tensor said calmly, "We have killed enough in this battle. Death is nothing. But if we die, who will avenge us in the future? But you're different. Leave here, and you can avenge us in the future." Xian Tyrant's state was too strong. Fo and the others knew very well that it was impossible to kill him in this state. If he continued to go crazy, the people of mysterious yellow universe would be plunged into misery and suffering, and the 10 undying would fall one after another. "Ha!" Xian Tyrant laughed sarcastically. "Him? Ha ha ha." He laughed so hard that he was about to cry. "You want to avenge you? You want to shake the great cause of the Xian people? You're really delusional. Since you're courting death, I'll grant you your wish." Xian Tyrant released his aura, and his body was filled with immortal Tao energy. He would kill them all first. "You want to suppress me and take me away?" Su Yin shouted. "Let's see if you have the ability. All of you back off. Let me do it." Su Yin ignored the consequences and charged at Xian Tyrant. The aura he emitted sent Yuan and the others flying. Xian Tyrant did not have much time left. As long as he did his best to stop him, he might be able to hold on until Xian Tyrant died. Even if he was suppressed and taken away, Yuan and the others could survive. But once he left and retreated, would the people of the universe still exist? Su Yin attacked with all his might. He ignited his indestructible golden body and attacked Xian Tyrant. Boom! Golden holy light erupted and struck Xian Tyrant's body. This attack was very powerful and surging endlessly, but it was extremely difficult to break through the defense of the golden armor. This is fate. You have no choice but to believe it. Xian Tyrant became calmer and calmer. His large hand covered Su Yin, wanting to suppress him. Su Yin would not sit still and wait for death. He resisted with all his strength. His body was so blazing that it was about to explode. He burned all of his vitality to stop Xian Tyrant's palm suppression, but it was useless. The extreme Tao metal was too powerful. It gave Xian Tyrant an indestructible body. No matter how Su Yin resisted, he could not stop the large hand. Su Yin spat out large mouthfuls of blood. His eyes turned black as his body flew out and fell far away. "No, if this continues, I'll die of exhaustion." Su Yin still maintained absolute clarity. Using the powerful rebound force, his blood-stained body crashed through the space-time tunnel and headed toward the Z-Way star zone. "You still want to escape now? Don't you think it's funny?" Xian Tyrant was confident of victory. How far could Su Yin escape? He strolled through the starry sky as if he was taking a stroll. His momentum became greater and greater. He pushed the shocking energy wave of the immortal island upward and attacked Su Yin. This energy wave was too violent. It was as if the sea of stars was collapsing. Su Yin, who was traveling through the space-time tunnel, was sent flying again. Su Yin did not say a word. His expression was cold as he stabilized his body that was about to rot. In the process, the indestructible golden body blazed again. Even Su Yin burned his body's functions. He did not care about the price, just to buy some time. What is Su Yin trying to do? Emperor Nan and the others were about to lose hope. It was difficult for them to catch up to the moving battlefield. "Don't go. Let me." The heavily injured East Demon charged into the battlefield. His entire body was overflowing with blood energy. His long hair danced in the wind like a waterfall. A terrifying light appeared in his eyes. He saw through Su Yan's intentions and roared, "You can't die. Grandpa Village Chief has high hopes for you. I believe that you will go even further in the future. No one could do it except me." Su Yan led Xian Tyrant away. He dragged his heavily injured body and rushed toward the bipolar star. Let's see how far you can run. How much of your lifespan can you burn to maintain your indestructible golden body? Xian Tyran also stepped into the bipolar star. He looked coldly at Su Yin, who was rushing toward a mountain. He said coldly, "Give up. If you continue to struggle, I'm really worried that you will lose all value to the Xian people." Ha! Ha ha ha! Su Yin stood on the great Tao immortal mountain. His smile was bitter, determined, and crazy. Finally, his eyes looked at the great Tao immortal mountain with determination. I didn't expect that I would have to rely on the power here in the end. His expression was cold. He wanted to lift the great Tao immortal mountain and use the dark matter to devour Xian Tyran. There's more tonight. Chapter 1380. The ancient great Tao immortal mountain bloomed with the light of the great Tao, flowing with waves of brilliance. The Tao here was unfathomable and extremely difficult to understand. It was unknown whether it was the great Tao or the immortal Tao. It had suppressed this place for countless years. Su Yin could sense that the great Tao immortal mountain's energy was already very limited. At most, in a few decades, the suppressed demonic fog would overturn the great Tao immortal mountain and pour out in full force. However, what about the dark matter that had lost the realm sea? Was the demonic fog suppressed here really that powerful? Su Yin didn't think so. Even if the dark matter was released, it couldn't cause the universe to decline in a short time. This mountain, at first, Xian Tyran didn't put this mountain in his eyes, but the more he observed, the more he felt. He increasingly felt that this mountain was no small matter. Very soon, he stepped forward and rushed towards the great Tao immortal mountain. However, just as he got close to the great Tao immortal mountain, this mountain surged with a strange energy. The ancient mountain exuded a terrifying pressure that prevented Xian Tyran from ascending. Who could easily ascend the 9 great immortal mountains? Su Yin was different. He had immortal jades, which were the key to opening the energy of the 9 great immortal mountains. Therefore, Su Yin could easily ascend the mountain. You want to rely on this mountain? Stop me? What wishful thinking! Xian Tyran sneered. His entire body bloomed with resplendent light. The extreme Tao immortal metal and his immortal Tao power were released, rushing towards the great Tao immortal mountain, causing it to shake slightly. Dong! At the same time, Xian Tyran was strolling towards the great Tao immortal mountain, one step after another. Each step left a deep footprint on the immortal mountain. Only SOSO. Xian Tyran shook his head and sneered. This level of strength couldn't trap him at all. He could reach the summit with some time. This time, I won't give you any hope of escaping. In order to prevent Su Yin from escaping again, Xian Tyran even laid down a layer of seal in the surrounding area. In short, the most important mission in this battle was Su Yin. As long as he could bring him away, everything would be settled. Suddenly, the great Tao immortal mountain rumbled, transmitting a ghost-like wail. Su Yin's expression changed slightly. Could it be that the great Tao immortal mountain had its own will? Or was a living evil demon suppressed under the great Tao immortal mountain? If that was the case, the great Tao immortal mountain couldn't be overturned. The mournful voice was still echoing. The sound came from the great Tao celestial mountain. It was a blood-curdling scream, like the howling of a ghost from hell. Buzz! Su Yan's eyes shone as he peered into the immortal mountain. Soon, he saw a remnant soul struggling in the immortal mountain. It was him, and he was letting out a mournful howl. Su Yan pondered for a moment and soon understood. You brought this upon yourself. He shook his head slightly and sneered. How much longer can a remnant soul like you last? Who are you? The remnant soul angrily roared, its voice filled with despair and mournfulness. If you don't want to die, then get the hell out of here. What? It's only been 100 years, right? Don't you remember me? Su Yan shook his head slightly. At the same time, he understood many things. The remnant soul here was an acquaintance. It was the sect master of the Crepe Myrtle sect, who had disappeared for 100 years. His remnant soul was in the great Tao Immortal Mountain. This person had helped Shueguan back then. Su Yin had suspected that he must be related to the Yin-Yang Road. The old village chief also knew, so he imprisoned his remnant soul inside. The Yin-Yang Road was a dark force after all. However, most of the experts of the Yin-Yang Road had been wiped out by the old village chief, and East Demon had already mixed in. He reckoned that the forces of the Yin-Yang Road had been wiped out by East Demon. You. It's actually you. Sect Master Crepe Myrtle found it hard to believe. Was this still the weak trash from 100 years ago? It was just a great Tao realm domain, a small thing that he could casually crush to death. Although Su Yin was seriously injured now, the fluctuations that leaked out of his pores were enough to shock Sect Master Crepe Myrtle. How strong was Su Yin now? If he stood here 100 years ago, he would probably only be able to crawl and tremble in front of him. What are you doing here? Sect Master Crepe Myrtle's expression was uncertain. He even saw Xian Tairan, who was climbing the mountain. His combat strength was even more terrifying, and he was about to reach the peak. It had only been 100 years. How many things had happened in the universe? What did he miss? I'm here to help you free yourself. Open the great Tao Immortal Mountain and let you escape from the sea of suffering. Su Yan's words were shocking, causing Sect Master Crepe Myrtle's remnant soul to tremble with excitement. However, he immediately calmed down. What are the conditions? His eyes were cold. There was no free lunch in this world. Moreover, once the great Tao Immortal Mountain was opened, Sect Master Crepe Myrtle knew what would happen. The great Tao Immortal Mountain is the immortal mountain that suppresses the source of darkness. Su Yin said calmly, in the last universe era, the bipolar star underwent a huge change. This valuable ancient life planet was almost destroyed. The main reason was that the dark matter caused chaos and shattered the great Tao Immortal Mountain, causing some rocks to fall off. As for you, if I'm not wrong, the rocks should have gained sentience and cultivated into a human form. Sect Master Crepe Myrtle's expression turned ugly. He really didn't expect Su Yin to see through everything. His current cultivation realm was too high, and he could see through many things with a single glance. I have a question. Back then, did you join forces with the people of the Yin-Yang Road to control the great Tao Immortal Mountain? Stop talking. Sect Master Crepe Myrtle was furious. He originally thought that after entering the great Tao Immortal Mountain, he would refine the great Tao Immortal Mountain into his body and become a top expert in the universe. In the end, he was wrong. Because part of the Immortal Mountain had already been eroded by the darkness, it was very difficult to control. Of course, this was not the main reason. On the day the demonic fog erupted, the old village chief came and sealed him in the great Tao Immortal Mountain. It seems like my guess is similar. The old village chief placed a seal in your remnant soul. You're quite pitiful. You didn't get anything and instead survived in this ghastly state. Su Yan's words made Sect Master Crepe Myrtle's expression turn ferocious. He roared, "Are you that old bastard disciple? He suppressed me here for 100 years. Do you know what I've been through all these years?" Sect Master Crepe Myrtle hated the old village chief to the extreme. Originally, he had a great plan. In the end, he lost everything and even had to endure the pain of being eroded by the darkness every day. It was really better to die. However, he could not die. The Immortal Mountain protected his primordial spirit. He could not die at all. Sect Master Crepe Myrtle had suffered here day and night for 100 years. This was the old village chief's punishment for Sect Master Crepe Myrtle. This was the cruel fate of those who dared to touch the Immortal Mountain. So, I came here to help you free yourself. Su Yin looked at Xian Tairan, who was about to climb up, and then looked at Sect Master Crepe Myrtle. He said, "What? Are you still unwilling? Can you really save me?" Sect Master Crepe Myrtle did not believe it. He knew very well what the universe would experience once the darkness matter erupted. Would Su Yin open the great Tao Immortal Mountain? Of course. Su Yin nodded seriously. He had already begun to break the seal. However, he reminded Sect Master Crepe Myrtle. However, you can indeed escape from the pain, but the great Tao Immortal Mountain will not belong to you. Not even a grain of soil can. Sect Master Crepe Myrtle screamed. If he lost the great Tao Immortal Mountain, he would lose his body. He would become a lonely ghost. What was the point of having it? He was about to go crazy from anger. He would rather die than live. Boom! At this moment, Xian Tairan reached the peak of the great Tao Immortal Mountain. His body was covered in golden armor and surged with blazing immortal light. He looked down at Su Yin from above and said coldly, "Can you stop resisting now? If you keep fighting, I'm really worried that I'll accidentally kill you." Su Yin became calmer. He stood on the peak and looked at Xian Tairan. He said, "I'm really curious. Why are you seeing people targeting me? Are you saying that I'm more attractive than the treasures of Xinhuang?" "You're right. Very attractive." Xian Tairan smiled. "How can it not be attractive when it concerns the supreme of the emperor ranking?" "Supreme of the emperor ranking?" Su Yin was surprised. He immediately thought of the white mist. Was that thing really that amazing? Did the Xian people get another ball of white mist? He felt that it was very likely. This also proved that the white mist was too valuable. Su Yin had only been in the immortal realm for a few years, but his Yuan spirit was about to enter the immortal realm. It was as if the Xian people had obtained the supreme Overlord. If he absorbed the white mist, the power of his Yuan spirit would definitely skyrocket. It was the same as giving him supreme potential. That's right. Unfortunately, you don't understand the value of the supreme of the emperor ranking, Xian Tairan said coldly. Although I don't know what you're after, I still understand the emperor ranking. Why would you want me to marry into the Xian people and become the supreme of the Xian people's emperor ranking? Su Yin sneered. You're really courting death. You're about to die, and you still dare to talk nonsense. Xian Tairan said in a sinister tone, I won't tell you now. You'll know when you come to the Xian people. If you're useful to the Xian people, I might spare your life. But if not, you'll die a horrible death. Ha ha ha! Su Yin laughed angrily. It's not over yet. Isn't it too early to talk about this? What right do you have to struggle in front of me? Xian Tairan said coldly. I'm too lazy to talk nonsense with you. Just accept your fate. Boom! His large hand reached out, covering the sky and covering the earth as he tried to suppress Su Yin. Xian Tairan's time was limited. He had to return to his family as soon as possible. Maybe Xian Huiyu still had a chance to survive. Su Yan's aura skyrocketed. His flesh shell burned away all the vitality. The indestructible body was forcefully pushed to the initial success stage. Accept my fate? Su Yan's golden hair danced in the wind. He laughed angrily. My life is not up to you to decide. Bam! Bam! Su Yan's palm landed on the great Tao Celestial Mountain. The old village chief won't blame me for this. What's an old monster of the Xian people? If I'm suddenly suppressed and taken away by them, they can still pay a huge price to invade the Xianhuang universe. Only by opening the source of darkness can we force the Xian people to retreat. He grabbed the mountain with both hands and roared. His aura skyrocketed, and his courage was peerless. Open! His roar resounded throughout the entire space-time. The majestic Great Tao Celestial Mountain also began to move. Billions of deaths and injuries suddenly. Let me bear this great karma. I don't believe that I'll lose to the end. Su Yin roared and lifted the Great Tao Celestial Mountain. His bloody figure was particularly frightening. This was also accompanied by a wave of darkness that erupted like a giant mushroom cloud. In an instant, it swallowed Su Yin and Xian Tairan. Chapter 1381. The moment the Great Tao Immortal Mountain, which had been guarding this place for a long time, was lifted, Sect Master Ziwei took control of the entire mountain. He wanted to escape. As long as he had some time to become one with the Great Tao Immortal Mountain, he would definitely become an expert among experts. Unfortunately, the Great Tao Immortal Mountain did not fly far. A ball of primordial spirit power swept over and hit Sect Master Ziwei's soul. Bastard! Sect Master Ziwei let out a cry of despair. His remnant soul was collapsing and was about to dissipate. You lunatic, you won't live either. You won't be able to escape. The moment Sect Master Ziwei exploded, he also saw Su Yin being swallowed by the demonic fog, who could walk out alive with a huge amount of dark matter suppressed below. Su Yin, why do you have to do this? The golden woman trembled as she stared blankly at Su Yin being swallowed by the demonic fog. She felt an inexplicable heartache. Although she was a prisoner, she had lived peacefully all these years. She had also made a bet with Su Yin. If Su Yin could survive the calamity, she would be willing to be Su Yan's maid. But now, Su Yin had given up on survival. He had given up hope of survival. You can go. Su Yin threw out the void treasure and let the golden woman go. At the same time, Su Yin stretched out his large hands and grabbed Xian Tyran's body. Xian Tyran was also in a daze. He looked at the billowing black aura below, and goosebumps rose all over his body. What was this? This was dark matter, a calamity that even the Xian people's patriarchs feared. Back then, 2 of the Xian people's patriarchs had their lives devoured by dark matter. Only Xian Tyran survived and left with Xian Huiyu. In the years after returning to the Xian people, Xian Tyran had read a large number of books about dark matter and came to a shocking conclusion. The transformation of the Xianhuang celestial domain back then was led by dark matter. Everyone would pale when they talked about it. It was listed as a taboo. Even the powerful heavenly domain's universe could transform and have its life energy devoured. It was hard to imagine how powerful dark matter was. However, didn't Realm C leave? Why was there still dark matter in the black-yellow universe? This made Xian Tyran tremble in fear. You lunatic! In an instant, Xian Tyran roared furiously. He was really mad. A massive amount of dark matter surged out, instantly engulfing Xian Tyran, who had the strongest life aura. Xian Tyran felt despair. He struggled madly, wanting to escape from the bipolar star. However, he couldn't do it because Su Yin had grabbed his arm. Xian Tyran roared angrily. You lunatic, lunatic, lunatic! Xian Tyran had never imagined that Su Yin would use such a method to perish together with him. Once Su Yin died, the Xian people's mission would be declared a failure. Didn't you want to arrest me and take me away? Come on. Su Yin laughed angrily. This devil mist will suck away all your life energy. No matter how strong your defense is, it'll be useless. You lunatic! Xian Tyran was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. His roar shook the entire starry sky. His body surged with the power of extreme Tao immortal metal. He wanted to crush the devil mist and blast open a tunnel to escape from the black-yellow universe. However, Su Yan's arm was similarly blazing. Moreover, the most terrifying life energy in his body was burning and reviving. As a result, Su Yan's hands were like huge dragons as they grabbed Xian Tyran's body. I'm only one step away from success. Just one more step. I can't lose. Xian Tyran roared. His aura grew stronger and stronger. In the end, his entire body released a terrifying light that caused Su Yan's arm to bend. His bones were shattering, and his arms were about to explode. You can't escape, Su Yan roared. He endured the pain. His arms were still glowing as he grabbed Xian Tyran. Rumble. The devil mist continued to erupt. The dark matter that was like an ocean had already entered Xian Tyran's body. In the end, his life aura was greatly damaged, and he was rapidly declining. He felt as if countless ants were crawling all over his body. In the process, they devoured the vigorous life energy in his body. This caused Xian Tyran to feel fear and despair. He was growing weaker and weaker. I don't want to die. Xian Huiyu's remnant soul was savage. She was in great pain and despair. She did not want to die yet. She was still young, and she still had hopes of reconstructing her body. However, it was too late. Not even the extreme Tao immortal metal could withstand the world shrouded by the dark matter. Boom! The broken cauldron fell from the skies. It suppressed Su Yan's head and blocked off most of the devil mist invasion. However, this cauldron was still broken in the end. It could only block off most of the dark matter. There was still a small amount of dark matter that invaded Su Yan's body. This caused Su Yan's aura to rapidly decline. What kind of supreme treasure is this? Cien Tyran's expression changed. The broken cauldron shone with a faint radiance. Strange patterns flashed on the cauldron's walls. They were so grand that they seemed like a sea of stars that encompassed the entire starry sky. Above the broken cauldron, Cien Tyran could vaguely sense a grand aura that transcended the past, present, and future. He felt incredulous. What kind of supreme treasure could block off the invasion of the dark matter? Cien Tyran resisted. He wanted to snatch the broken cauldron away. This was his only chance to leave this place alive. However, it was a pity that he had no chance at all. He could not even move. His body was firmly grasped by Su Yin. "Stop struggling. You can't escape," Su Yin said coldly. "If you want to kill me, it's not as simple as paying a price. You should accept your fate." Right now, the entire bipolar star was filled with dark matter. Billions of strands of dark matter were erupting. However, there was a powerful seal around the bipolar star that temporarily blocked the invasion of the dark matter. Even so, the rolling waves caused the bipolar star to tremble violently. A mysterious radiance rose from it, and there were faint signs of it exploding. The East Devil's eyes were red. Su Yin had overturned the great Tao Immortal Mountain. He wanted to perish together with the Cien people's experts. Of course, his main purpose was not to get rid of Cien Tyran. Once the devil mist erupted, the dark matter in the mysterious yellow universe would inevitably force the entire immortal clan to retreat. Only in this way would he be able to gain some time to catch his breath. After all, there were 9 great immortal mountains in the Xianhuang universe. This was just one of the seals. It was impossible for the dark matter to sweep through the ancient Xianhuang universe in such a short time. What's going on? I have a bad feeling about this. In the outer space, the experts of the Cien people who were entrenched were discussing. Su Yin had gone to the bipolar star. It had been a while. Why hadn't he come out yet? Even now, the entire planet was trembling. What was going on inside? After all, with a layer of seal between them, no one could see the changes in the bipolar star. Cien Tyran had a bad feeling. He felt that his connection with a part of his soul light was getting weaker and weaker. What was going on? It shouldn't be. Cien Tyran frowned and said, "With the armor formed by the extreme Tao Immortal Gold, even immortal Tao realm experts can't tear it apart. There's nothing that can stop him. There's nothing." He held his breath and waited patiently. As long as he could send Su Yin out, everything would be settled. Cien Huiyu would also have hope of rebuilding his physical body. There would be hope for him to redeem his previous failure. Everything can end now. It's over. In the bipolar star, Cien Tyran's main body had no idea what his soul light had experienced. His soul light was about to be extinguished. In fact, even if he suppressed Su Yin now, he couldn't fly out of this dark space. Soon after, Cien Tyran realized that even the energy of the extreme Tao Immortal Gold was being devoured by the dark matter. Even the extreme Tao Immortal Gold couldn't withstand the corrosion of the dark matter. Just how terrifying was the dark matter seal below? Su Yin was very calm. The remnant cauldron above his head shone brightly, isolating him from most of the devilish mist. However, his appearance was also gradually aging. His powerful, indestructible golden body had already started to degenerate. "Now, it's time for you Cien people to accept your fate," Su Yin shouted coldly. Cien Tyran couldn't hold on any longer. His aura was greatly damaged, and his life force was dropping rapidly. His entire body was turning dark, and his life force was about to be devoured. Cien Tyran calmed down and sneered. "So what if I failed? It's no big deal. I just lost some treasures. It's nothing. But you're different." "What? Do you have something to say before you die?" Su Yin said coldly. "I'm all ears." "You're different." Cien Tyran looked at Su Yin with pity. He sneered. "Poor thing. You were blessed with great fortune and had the qualifications to be ranked on the Emperor rankings. Unfortunately, you didn't grasp this opportunity. In the end, it was obtained by us Cien people. That ball of black mist is really strong. It's hard to trace its origin. It might be the supreme substance in the Imperial region." "Imperial region?" Su Yin was surprised. Could the Imperial region be at the end of the Emperor Road? Wait a minute. Black mist? Why was it black mist? Su Yin was at a loss. His primordial spirit controlled the white fog. Could it be the black fog? Black and white mist. This shocked Su Yin greatly. Could it be that the effects of the two types of mist were different? If the white mist nourished the primordial spirit, what did the black mist nourish? But how could the two types of mist be absorbed and devoured so easily? The white mist had almost taken Su Yan's life. Your soul light will be extinguished. Su Yin calmed himself down and said, my primordial spirit will be extinguished as well. You're really careful, aren't you? You want to know? I won't tell you, Xian Tyran said coldly. In short, we Xian people will be the overlords in the future. We'll be glorious, and you'll just be a little brat, a pile of bones. But aren't you the same? Su Yin sneered. I'm a pile of bones. Were you? You can't even conquer a universe defended by an undying being. You're just a piece of trash. Su Yin, Xian Tyran howled. Xian Tyran let out a shrill cry. His expression was so ferocious that he looked like a malicious spirit as he violently shook off Su Yan's arm. He pounced on Su Yan. Although they were only a palm's distance away, it felt as if they were separated by an entire universe. In the end, he fell into the bottomless black abyss. He let out an indignant roar and disappeared without a trace. Uffed. Su Yin coughed up a mouthful of blood and knelt on one knee in the void. He was so weak that he could barely stand. I want to go home. I want to live. He shook his head and tried to pull himself together. He struggled to get up. A wisp of will supported Su Yin. He did not want to die yet. He still had some unfinished business. He didn't want to die here, even if it was a sudden death. The damaged cauldron was still hanging above his head. It scattered waves of clear light and blocked the corrosion of a large amount of dark matter. However, just a small amount of devil mist was enough to make it difficult for Su Yin to resist. I want to go home. Frost, Big Brother misses you. Bamboo Moon, I miss you too. I want to go home. Su Yin let out a hysterical roar. He began to charge toward the sealed entrance of the bipolar star. He did not want to die here. He did not want to be accompanied by darkness. Chapter 1382. Boom. There was a loud explosion that shook the heavens and the earth. Even the ancient Xianhuang universe let out a violent roar. The energy storm was too frightening. The old leaders who had rushed to the bipolar star trembled violently and were all sent flying. They were all sent flying. The commotion was too violent and sudden. The vast universe began to shake. In the process, the stars trembled and the sea of stars swayed. Many realms collapsed and black cracks appeared. The universe seemed unstable and was about to collapse. The turbulent storm swept through the entire universe, causing an unprecedented tremor. Is that the sound of the human emperor and the Xian people fighting? The Ziwei segmentum shook the most violently. Some of the experts who had returned from the chaos ruins felt as if their guts were about to burst. They felt as if the Ziwei segmentum was about to explode and was about to be destroyed. Fortunately, because of the previous battle, billions of creatures in the major galaxies had left their homelands and gone to the chaos ruins. Otherwise, who knew how many innocent people would have been killed by this huge change? Of course, even in the chaos ruins, the earth began to shake. Many people could not stand steadily and fell to the ground, their faces as pale as snow. What was going on? What had happened? Why were the energy fluctuations so violent? Huiyu will definitely succeed. If he fails, I will crush the Xianhuang universe and let them all die with him. In the outer space, the heavily injured Xian Tyran looked gloomy. His aura was as cold as a ghost's. His clone had fallen, and his main body was heavily injured. The children he was most proud of were also facing the end of their lives. If he still failed, how could he be reconciled? Xian Tyran decided to report to the Xian people. Just the three most powerful supernatural powers in history were enough to make the Xian people pay a huge price to attack the Xianhuang universe. Dong! Loud sounds came one after another. There were 9 consecutive sounds, as if a huge bell was shaking. Boom! In the end, all the seals of the bipolar star collapsed, along with an ancient planet of life. The bipolar star has exploded. Emperor Nan was shocked. This was the bipolar star that had been sealed for many years. At this time, it collapsed and an ancient planet of life exploded, giving birth to a tide of energy. The rumbling sound shook the heavens and the earth, echoing in the universe. Then, a vigorous and surging demonic fog that was like a black ocean surged into the sky. This was the opening of a terrifying devil's den, causing millions and millions of miles of land to become pitch black like ink. The energy was dense, as if it was the legendary limitless purgatory. Moreover, this shocking scene of darkness was spreading towards the distant world. From this moment on, all the powerhouses of the Xian people fell silent. Xian Tyran was also trembling with anger. He sensed that his mixed light had been extinguished. The gloominess in his heart was in a mess, and in the end, he spat out a mouthful of blood. I hate it. The Xian people's patriarch's eyes were about to pop out of their sockets. He was so angry that he was trembling, and the veins all over his body were bulging. One could imagine how angry he was. Who could match the dark matter? Back then, when the three great ancestors descended to the Xianhuang universe, two of them died because of the ripples created by the dark matter. Suddenly, no matter how strong the extreme Tao immortal metal was, it couldn't stop the disaster of darkness. Su Yan was trying to take him down with him. Bastard! How can there be dark matter in the Xianhuang universe? Xian Chang's expression was also extremely ugly. One had to know that even the mighty Xianhuang universe had changed because of the invasion of the dark matter. That incident had caused great fear in the undying heavenly domain, and it had also massacred a large number of top powerhouses in the Xianhuang universe. The Xian people's patriarchs were all panicking. They didn't want to provoke the dark matter. The powerful celestial court had been destroyed because of the dark matter, and the Xian people didn't want to repeat the same mistake. Darkness blotting out the sun. The old leader's chest rose and fell violently, and his breathing became heavy. He instantly thought of many things. No, he roared, and his eyes turned red. Could it be that Su Yin had opened the source of darkness and was trying to take Xian Tyran down with him? Don't panic. The severely injured Bao Kai was so badly mangled that his appearance couldn't be distinguished. He pulled the old leader with his claws and said, Su Yin has a supreme treasure that can protect him from the invasion of the dark matter. If he really used the source of darkness to deal with Xian Huiyu, Su Yin wouldn't have died. Yes. Yuan was also agitated. Was this a turn of events? Su Yin had the power to resist the dark matter. They had all seen it with their own eyes in the past. If Su Yin really used the devil fog to kill Xian Huiyu, then Su Yin wouldn't have died. With a broken cauldron, how could he die? Look, a humanoid creature is flying out. It must be Su Yin. He's still alive. Bao Kai exclaimed. He saw a blood-stained figure in the dark space that covered the sun. He started to move towards them. Su Yin. Yuan recognized him immediately. He was overjoyed because he saw the broken cauldron above his head that was blocking the darkness. Just as they were about to cross the dark tide, Su Yan's primordial spirit fluctuated and stopped them. Once Emperor Nan and the others rushed in, no one would be able to survive. Even the powerful Xian Huiyu had died. Who could survive? Hurry up, Bao Kai roared. He realized that Su Yan's situation wasn't good. His blood-stained body was very old, and his qi and blood were dried up. Moreover, there was dark matter surging in his body. This was the devil fog devouring his vitality. Su Yin was in great pain. His body was trembling. He couldn't walk anymore. His spirit and were a little blurry. This path was too long. It was so long that he didn't want to walk anymore. He had no strength left. The entire universe was frighteningly silent. There was no sound at all. Almost everyone was trembling and having difficulty breathing. They stared at Su Yin and the trembling human emperor. In the end, many people in the universe were so depressed that they started to roar. Human emperor, hurry up and come out. Run. A large number of experts roared. Their hearts were like being stabbed by a knife. They didn't want to see this scene. Su Yin looked too old. His hair was snow white. and his chi and blood were dried up. There was almost no life in him. The universe was mourning. Could the human emperor still come out? The area covered by the devil fog was too vast. It was even gradually spreading in all directions. If this continued, with the human emperor's physical strength, it would be difficult for him to walk out. I can't do it, Su Yin murmured. He held his head with both hands. He really couldn't take it anymore. You can do it. You can do it. Si Yin cried and waved at Su Yin. She said in a hoarse voice, "Come out, Su Yin. You can do it. We are still waiting for you. Please come out. Now is not the time to joke. I really can't do it." Su Yin smiled bitterly. His will was gradually blurring. He was too weak and even collapsed in the darkness. It was difficult for him to continue struggling. Su Yin, come out. Come out. Yuan roared. Her whole body was trembling, and her eyes were bloodshot. She angrily rebuked the Xian people experts in the outer realm. Xian people, if Su Yin falls, I will make you pay with your blood. Good child, come out quickly. The old leader seemed to have aged many years in an instant. He was murmuring something, but no one knew what he was saying. The whole world shook. Su Yin's physical body withered and died. His signs of life collapsed and the Qinkuan world shrouded in the devil fog. Will the human emperor really fall? They were in a daze. They had seen everything with their own eyes. The human emperor was already so tired. Could he still walk out? This was the devil fog. Who could get close? Once they got close, the experts' lives would wither away. Now, no one had the power to send Su Yin out. The East Devil wanted to take a gamble. However, when he got close to the darkness, his whole body trembled as if he had gone mad. Devil light flashed in his body. This devil light even wanted to devour the East Devil completely. West Buddha's expression changed. He quickly rushed in and pulled the East Devil out from the edge. He was really worried that the East Devil would go mad. Su Yin, don't sleep. Open your eyes and take a look. Tensor's eyes were red. He wanted to see Su Yin stand up and charge toward the outside. Crack! Suddenly, Su Yin's body, which was covered in rolling darkness, started to crack. He was too old. He had fought until his life force was exhausted. Now, his body was starting to crack. Many cracks appeared. However, there was no blood in his body. It had all flowed out. He was like a broken porcelain that would shatter into ashes at any time. Painful roars echoed in the starry sky. Was he going to fall just like that? Was this the end? It's all my fault. The Baokai had a hard time breathing. It still had a breath and would not die. It was in pain. If it had come out of seclusion earlier, if it had not been so afraid of death, if it had broken through the 9 great heavenly gates test earlier, if it had handed the broken cauldron to Su Yin earlier, then everything would have happened. It would not have gone on like this. The Baokai felt guilty and pained. If it had not been for it, perhaps Su Yin would not have fallen. Emperor Nan was silent. He patted the bout-sized, blood-stained body. No matter what, they were all brothers who had gone through thick and thin together. No one wanted to see the other fall. Su Yin was in a desperate situation. Emperor Nan was in a bad mood. He wanted to cry, but he held it in. Brother, brother, I'm here. Brother, I miss you, brother. A pitiful voice traveled into the darkness and woke up Su Yin, who was gradually losing consciousness. He opened his eyes. Vaguely, he saw a hazy figure in the distance. Frost, Su Yin murmured. He stretched out his hand, wanting to grab the person in the distance. Brother can't go back. I'm sorry, Su Yin smiled. All this time, Su Yin felt guilty towards Frost. As her elder brother, he did not take care of her for long. She had been wandering the universe for 100 years. Originally, Su Yin wanted to rush out. He wanted to hold on to his last breath, meet his family and friends, and bid them a proper farewell. But he could not take it. He sighed softly with regret in his heart. Many years ago, he wanted to see Bamboo Moon, but he did not get the chance. He even wanted to go to the undying heavenly domain. He wanted to see how big the outside world was. How strong were the immortal sects? How could they compete with the legendary Yingjia? Of course, what he wanted most was to follow the Emperor's road to the destination of the final battle. He wanted to find out where he came from. He did not want to die without knowing where he came from. But he could not do it. Although it was a pity that his life had withered, it was enough to look back on this life. I really can't go back. Goodbye. Suyin closed his eyes. His whole body was swallowed by the darkness. His body fell. Being able to see frost before his death, he didn't have too many regrets. Finally, Suyin was swallowed by the darkness. No one in the universe could see him anymore. Chapter 1383. Why does my heart suddenly hurt? Within Sky Bamboo Mountain, a beautiful woman was sitting cross-legged under a giant yellow bamboo. She wore a silver robe and looked dignified and beautiful. She was like a divine moon, full of colors. She had been comprehending the Tao here, exploring the mysteries of life's evolution. She had been silent for many years, and now her body was trembling. Even her quiet primordial spirit was rippling. She was panicking, and it was difficult for her to breathe. My heart hurts so much. Bamboo Moon clenched her slender hands. She wanted to wake up. She felt that something big had happened, and she had to wake up. Giant Bamboo sighed and used a seal to cut off all connections between this place and the outside world. Bamboo Moon had reached the most important juncture. She would soon rely on herself to dig out the immortal matter. Since she had reached this point, how could all her previous efforts be wasted? She could not be affected by other factors. Bamboo Moon's aura gradually stabilized. She once again entered the path of exploring life's essence. The deeper she explored, the more solid the Sky Bamboo manifestation behind her became. This somewhat blurry Sky Bamboo seemed to stretch to the end of the path to immortality. It wanted to pluck the strongest life essence and open a path for Bamboo Moon to transform. She was about to succeed. If she was slow, it would take 3 to 5 years. If she was fast, it would take just a few months. I hope you won't blame me when the time comes. But I don't have much lifespan left. I don't know if I can last until the day you leave seclusion. Giant Bamboo sighed. Suyin most likely would not survive. He was shocked that Suyin had used such a method to break through the situation. He had risked his life to kill Xian Huiyu. But Suyin also could not endure it. He could not walk out of this world of darkness. His entire person had fallen into the darkness. This was very cruel. He was also clear about the relationship between Bamboo Moon and Suyin. But Bamboo Moon's cultivation had reached the most important juncture. He really could not allow her to leave seclusion now. Xian Tairan was about to go crazy. He saw Suyin, but he did not see Xian Huiyu. Huiyu. His ferocious face was directly distorted, and his liver was greatly angered, causing his injuries to become even more severe. He coughed up large mouthfuls of blood, and his body staggered, but his eyes were filled with even more frenzied, killing intent. Xian Huiyu was the child he was most proud of. He had led his clone into the Xianhuang universe, but he had suffered a crushing defeat. Now he had even died without a corpse, defeated in one battle. But in the end, he didn't get anything. He only fought to the death for Suyin. Suyin was nothing to them. For the Xian people, what they wanted was the secret of the evolution of the black-yellow universe and more black mist. But now, they got nothing, not even a living expert from the black-yellow universe. Kill. Xian Tairan was about to go mad. He wanted to kill his way over and wipe out the entire Xianhuang universe to vent his anger. Calm down, Xian Changhe rebuked angrily. It's already like this. Even if you rush in now, it won't do you any good. You'll only be throwing your life away. This matter should be discussed at length. What's there to discuss at length? Xian Tairan roared. Immediately send an order back to the family. I want to attack the black-yellow universe and tear apart the seal. I want the entire black-yellow universe to be reduced to a scorched earth where not even a blade of grass can grow. The group of Xian people was so frightened that they didn't dare to speak. This was the first time they had seen Xian Tairan lose control. After all, he had lost too much. The successive defeats were a heavy blow to Xian Tairan. Emir Su Yin had actually caused the Xian people to suffer heavy casualties. Xian Chang'e sighed. He knew very well that with the appearance of the black matter, the Xian people wouldn't attack the black-yellow universe anymore. After all, this calamity was too great. It was even related to the final war. The Xian people wouldn't attack the black-yellow universe again, lest they really got into trouble. Su Yan, The Baokai was in great pain and grief. It roared at the dark space-time, hoping to see him walk out alive. After all, this was different from the past. In the past, the universe would often pass on the news of Su Yan's death. But this time it was different. He had fallen into the darkness. This was a calamity that had almost destroyed the black-yellow universe. Who could resist it? They waited anxiously and uneasily. Day after day passed. The old chief and the others were like statues, staring blankly at the dark space-time. Even the billowing demonic fog had begun to slowly expand towards the distant world. Along the way, nothing existed anymore. The immense vitality of the star field had begun to be devoured. Is the human sovereign really not coming back? It's already been 3 days and 3 nights. Many experts from various orthodoxies and clans had come. They were all extremely sad. They also brought along secret healing medicines, hoping to see the human sovereign crawl out of hell and help him. This place was filled with people. Xiaojin Gang and the others just looked at it, tears in their eyes. They didn't cry. Su Yan had only left Earth for 100 years. Many things were only heard of in legends. They hadn't seen it with their own eyes. Now, almost all the orthodoxies and clans in the world had sent cultivators here. One could imagine that Su Yan, who had grown up together with them in the academy, had only grown for 100 years. How terrifying was he? Everyone in the universe was upset. What hope was there? Even if the true immortals of the great all-embracing heaven came, they broke through the demonic fog and brought out Su Yan. But at that time, Su Yan was already dead. Everyone could see clearly that the human sovereign was not coming back. Boo-hoo! Liang Yan cried. She cried so sadly that she almost fainted several times. She had a gentle personality, but sometimes she was very unyielding. She looked at the dark world and cried bitterly. Why did it turn out like this? Why did he leave just like that? She really wanted to see Su Yan's figure walk out of the darkness again. Is there no hope? The old chief was in a daze. He had always thought that Su Yan was a child gifted to them by the heavens. He was a child born from the universe's origin. He was the mother of the universe. Su Yan did not disappoint them. He rose all the way and finally destroyed the various clans in the ancestral hall. But the waters of the Xianhuang universe were too deep. The Xian people wanted everything in the Xianhuang universe and all the treasures. In fact, the old chief couldn't figure it out. He felt that he had overlooked something. Why did the Xian people target Su Yan? Could it be that Su Yan was special in some way? Was it worth the Xian people spending De Li's qi to deal with him? You think too much. The old chief sighed. What was the point of thinking about this now? The blacksmith returned from the Zhang family village. His face was bald. He tried to communicate with the old chief and let him take charge of the situation, but the old chief's seclusion place was almost sealed. There was no aura coming out. The universe mourned. The catastrophe dispersed. The Xian people left in large numbers, but the human sovereign was no longer there. Why is the heavens so cruel? It's so unfair. Many people roared at the source of darkness. They really wanted to see Su Yan once again rule the world, rule the Xianhuang universe, and lead the clans to rise. Time flew. Soon, a month had passed. Too many people were in despair. It had been a month. Many people had waited for a month. The dark matter continued to expand. Although the darkness had only nibbled away 1,000th of the vast Xianhuang universe's territory, someone was buried in it and could not come back. It seems that Su Yan has fallen. It's a pity that we couldn't catch him in the end. In the outer space, a group of Xian people stayed behind and waited. They did not receive any orders from the Xian people for a month. This meant that the Xian people would not use force against the Xianhuang universe. They regretted that Su Yan had fallen. The one Qi into 3 pure ones and the initial force were most likely buried in the darkness. If the seal of the Xianhuang universe disappeared one day, the Xian people would send people to explore the Xianhuang universe again. But would the strongest supernatural powers in history be preserved? Would Tai Baokai and the others be able to survive? The darkness would continue to devour the Xianhuang universe. It would not take long for the seal to disappear and the Xianhuang universe would be completely dark. By then, nothing would be left. Ancestor, it's time to act. We've waited long enough. On the other side, the experts of the heavenly bamboo branch were ready to act. They did not have much time left as the darkness was coming. They had to solve the matter here quickly. Not now. The more important is, the more we can't let the Xian people know that our clan can open the seal. They have paid a heavy price after all. If they know that our clan can open the seal, it won't be a good thing. The ancestor of the heavenly bamboo branch said, "The Xian people's people are still here. It won't take long for them to leave one by one. By then, it'll be the best time to enter the Xianhuang universe." Zhu Yao's heart was burning. There must be a great opportunity in the place where the ancestor had fallen. If the heavenly bamboo branch grasped it, it would be a great opportunity, especially for the younger generation. By then, there would be a place for her in the top 100 monarch rankings. Time passed slowly. The universe was peaceful for half a year. East Demon's expression was grave. Half a year had passed, but the darkness matter was still expanding. Fortunately, there was no realm sea leading the way, or else the consequences would be unimaginable. Bao Cai's willpower was low, his spirit dispirited. Yuan, Old Chief, Emperor Nan, Blacksmith, Tensor, and West Buddha. The 8 undying beings suddenly howled in grief. Half a year had passed. They could not continue like this. Su Yan was gone. But the Xian people were still here. The enemy was still here. The miser was sent to the immortal realm ruins to recuperate, hoping that he could borrow the true phoenix energy to survive. I really want to tear the Xian people to shreds. Yuan clenched his fists, saying to Bao Cai and the others, "We can't continue like this either. I don't believe that Su Yan will really fall. We have to pull ourselves together and get revenge." The 8 undying beings erupted in unison, their auras blazing, releasing heaven overflowing killing intent. They didn't believe that they couldn't shake the Xian people in the future. Each of them had great courage and perseverance. They didn't believe that they couldn't rise in the future. It's time to make a decision. Bao Cai looked at Bing Xuan. Although he was unwilling, things had already come to this, and there was nothing he could do. Big brother can't come back. He really can't come back. Su Bingshuang had lost a lot of weight, and her expression was gloomy. She wanted to find a piece of bone, a piece of battle armor, and build a cenotaph for Su Yan. However, there was nothing left in this battle. The only thing left for them was endless grief and sorrow. In the dark space-time, the Yin energy was dense, and the aura of death was so thick that no one dared to go near. In the pitch-black world, one couldn't even see their own fingers. It was like an ancient demonic abyss, swallowing all life energy. At the bottom of this demonic abyss, there was a tattered body surrounded by dark matter. Su Yan's life force had already dried up, but the dark matter didn't stop swallowing him. The billowing source of darkness began to seep into the depths of Su Yan's flesh shell, drilling into his bones and blood. Suddenly, Su Yan's body trembled. Within his flesh shell, the dried-up essence blood began to shine. This was 9-color blood being stimulated and flowing on its own. It was very special. It flashed with 9-colored immortal light, accompanied by rich, prehistoric fluctuations. It even seemed like a terrifying apocalyptic aura was fighting against the darkness. Vaguely, a pair of eyes sputtered out, looking through the darkness. On the tattered Dao platform, the scattered skeleton released a weak light. It was looking at Su Yan. Why does it feel familiar? This is from before the apocalypse, the skeleton muttered, finding it inconceivable. Chapter 1384. His ruined body was bone-chillingly cold. However, his blood was still warm. It was surging and releasing immortal splendor. This was 9-color blood. It was extremely special. Almost no one knew that such mysterious blood existed in this world. The 9-color blood flickered with radiance, resisting the demonic mist's final corrosion. Su Yan's soul had long since fallen silent. His body had long since become ice-cold. As for the 9-color blood's flow, it was all happening without anyone controlling it. This demonic mist was too powerful and strange. It had entered Su Yan's blood essence space-time and suddenly formed the special 10-colored blood. However, the demonic mist was devouring Su Yan's nine-colored blood. This was a different kind of battle. No one knew how long it would take to calm down. The universe had been peaceful for almost a year. On this day, Su Bingshuang wore hemp clothes to send off her brother's funeral. This was bad news. In a short period of time, it spread throughout the entire universe. The entire world trembled, and countless creatures were in pain. The human emperor of a generation, born from calamity, had died in battle just like that. Why is it like this? The heavens are unfair. Someone screamed towards the heavens. The heavens are unfair. Human Emperor Su Yan has made great contributions to the universe. Why are the heavens so unfair that they want the human emperor to wither away? Everyone was in grief. How many years had it been since the universe's environment returned to the present? A series of major events had occurred, but each time, it was Su Yan who stepped forward bravely to resolve the fatal crisis. In the end, he risked his life to kill Xian Huiyu, intimidating the Xian people so that they no longer dare to attack the universe. The universe's calamity had dispersed, giving everyone hope to live on. However, Su Yan would never return. He was buried in the darkness. The heavens are jealous of the heroic. Someone's voice trembled. Is it true that the heavens are jealous of the human emperor? Are the Xian people so jealous of him that they want to end him? Su Yan's fall is an irreparable loss to our universe. I wonder how far the dark matter will spread. There are also people who are worried about the future. The darkness was still expanding. Perhaps in a few years, it would devour the entire starry sky. At present, the various races of the universe were living in the primal chaos ruins. However, it was as if they were waiting for death, waiting for the end of their lives. Cultivators from all great sects came to pay their respects to Su Yan. Looks like he's really dead. Several of the Xian people's experts had left. The remaining experts were still paying attention to the current situation in the black-yellow universe. They wondered if the dark matter would devour the entire black-yellow universe. If that was the case, it would be such a huge matter that a generation of the Xianhuang celestial domain could be declared dead. Brother Su, I'm here to see you. Zhu Sheng came. The ancestral hall had been destroyed long ago, but there were still some survivors. In the end, the survivors of the ancestral hall discovered that the current Zhu Sheng was the one with the strongest bloodline in the ancestral hall. In fact, he was the one with the strongest battle prowess. The survivors of the ancestral hall hoped that Zhu Sheng would become the new clan master. They even requested that he change the clan name so that the clan could continue to exist. However, Zhu Sheng refused. He brought some aged wine to pay his respects. Smiling bitterly, he said, I'm still alive. AI, Brother Su, it won't be long before the devil mist devours the entire Xianhuang universe. When that happens, we'll all be buried in the darkness, but you'll die with us. However, Zhu Sheng smiled bitterly. I hope that you won't trick me again in the other world. AI, as for the undying heavenly domain, it was not peaceful at all. The major sects and orthodoxies were shocked. Many old antiques looked at the Xian people from afar. They did not expect that the Xian people would suffer such heavy losses in the past few years. A one-man monarch ranking? That Su Yan is dead? They were all shocked. This was too ridiculous. How many years had it been? How could he die so early? What a joke. Someone mocked. What is this? What is the monarch ranking? How can it be controlled by the current poor people? A one-man monarch ranking? I think he couldn't bear the weight and died prematurely. You can't say that. Someone shook his head and said, It's said that Su Yan from the black-yellow universe killed Xian Hongda. You should have heard of Xian Hongda. Even the favorite child of one of the Xian people's ancestors, an expert of the immortal Tao, was killed. The impact of Xian Hongda's death was huge. Although many people did not know who Xian Hongda was, they were shocked when they heard that he was one of the 10 prodigies of the Xian people. It seemed like this Su Yan was really something. What a pity. If such a talent came to the undying heavenly domain, he might have a place in the top 100 of the monarch ranking. Some people felt that it was a pity. Although they had not seen Su Yan before, it was already amazing that he could kill Xian Hongda. Top 100 of the monarch ranking? You guys are underestimating the monarch ranking. Someone laughed and said, the undying heavenly domain is endless. Not to mention, there are many geniuses in the big and small universes. It's very difficult to fight for the top 100. Even if the Emperor Road opens the 10,000 try battlefield, the fight for the top 100 would be extremely fierce. Otherwise, a wild cultivator from a resource-poor planet is so strong. If he could be nurtured by an orthodoxy, he might be able to shine. Some people did not think so. The experts all over the world were talking about it. After all, Su Yan was a famous person. Many forces pitted the Xian people. Their vitality was greatly damaged by a poor family. The Xian people were furious. No one knew who accidentally leaked the news. In short, this was a heavy blow to the Xian people's reputation. In short, the matter of Su Yan's death had created quite a storm. As for the Xianwang universe, which was in the vast void, there was a sudden explosion that shook the heavens and the earth. Are the Xian people here again? The old leader and the others were shocked. The 8 undying beings rushed out from various domains. Their injuries were healed, and they even had a big breakthrough in their cultivation. Now, their faces were serious as they looked at the outer space. Who's there? The faces of the Immortal Clan experts also changed. When they saw a huge energy whirlpool appear in the void, their faces became gloomy. Then they were shocked. A vast wave of energy swept over. It was as if time and space were collapsing, causing a huge storm. The sky was filled with fragments of time. The great Tao collapsed, and the void of space and time violently trembled. A massive blue stone bridge suddenly crossed the void of space and time and extended to this region. The Sky Bridge. The experts left behind by the Xian people were shocked because this was the real thing, not a replica. This was the famous treasure of the undying heavenly domain, the Sky Bridge. It was rumored that this bridge could cross the river of time, even having the ability to reverse time, let alone cross the boundary of nothingness. This sect's supreme treasure's reputation was too great. Is the Sky Bridge Elder here? They were shocked. This was a giant of the immortal orthodoxy, a legendary figure. Even the patriarch of the Xian people had to bow down in front of the Sky Bridge Elder. At this time, they saw one figure after another coming from the other side of the Sky Bridge. Soon, they arrived at this area. The 3 old men were not clear. The old man was dressed in black, and his face was deep. No one could see his expression. Brothers, why have you come from afar? The experts left behind by the Xian people quickly went up to greet them. They wanted to know why they were here, and how they knew the coordinates of the bound yellow universe. The 3 old men nodded slightly. One of them said, "We didn't expect to meet the Xian people. We're here to welcome the young master's servant. We don't have any other intentions." The immortals were an immortal orthodoxy with mighty divine might. Although old man Tong Tian's reputation resounded like thunder in their ears, the immortals were still an immortal orthodoxy. Although the name of the Sky Bridge Elder was well known, his followers did not dare to disrespect the Xian people. The young master's servant. In another time and space, Zhu Yao's expression changed slightly. She was always proud, but she was speechless. The young master of the Sky Bridge Elder is famous. He's ranked 3rd on the Emperor board. This was an unparalleled evaluation. The Emperor Road had not been opened, but the young master of the Sky Bridge Elder was already ranked 3rd. He was the only successor of the Sky Bridge Elder, and it was said that he had the legendary Sky Bridge immortal body. It was a supreme physique. Unlike the indestructible golden body, the Sky Bridge immortal body was a natural physique. It was said that once the physique reached minor accomplishment, one's dermic powers would be overwhelming, and he would be invincible among his peers. Meanwhile, the young master of the Sky Bridge Elder had already reached minor accomplishment in his immortal body. Not to mention, he had received the true teachings of the Sky Bridge Elder. His combat strength was too amazing, and he was always regarded as one of the top 3 experts. It's said that the young master of the Sky Bridge Elder is fond of beautiful women. He has many servants, and each of them has amazing talents. Zhu Yao was shocked. There are many pearls of immortal orthodoxies following the young master of the Sky Bridge Elder. Could it be that one of his servants is in the bound yellow universe? Come back. The three old men used the power of the Sky Bridge to illuminate the bound yellow universe. Soon, they found a golden woman. The golden maiden was covered in golden armor. Her body was flawless, and her golden hair fell to her waist. She was indescribably beautiful. Suyen, the bet has failed. It seems that I can't be your servant anymore. The golden maiden sighed with reluctance in her eyes. When she looked up at the Sky Bridge, all her emotions were restrained. She looked cold and beautiful. Then, she soared into the sky and rushed to the outer verse. The bound yellow seal would not stop the people inside from rushing to the outside world. The golden maiden rushed out of the seal and came to the void. She bowed to the three old men. Thank you for your trouble. At the same time, the golden maiden took out the bronze weapon tree and handed it to the three old men. The three old men were delighted and quickly used the Sky Bridge to seal the bronze weapon tree. They wondered if the weapon that the young master had raised for 1,000,000 years had taken shape. What's that? The Cien people wanted a peek, but they couldn't see anything clearly. Young lady, please wait. A fairy powerhouse smiled. You came from the bound yellow universe. I wonder what's the situation inside. Is Suyin dead? Hearing this, the golden maiden said coldly, the Cien people are so mighty. Are you not satisfied after returning in defeat? The Cien people's powerhouses were furious. They never thought that a maidservant would dare to ridicule them. Why? Are you related to Suyin? One of the black-clothed old men said with a sullen face. Fellow Taoists, you can't talk nonsense. The three old men's faces were gloomy. How could the maidservant of the Tongtian young master be tainted? I'm just saying, the black-clothed old man sneered. Su Yin is the strongest powerhouse of the younger generation in the bound yellow universe. It's normal for someone to admire him. The golden maiden snorted and walked toward the three old men without saying anything. It is said that the maidservants of the Tongtian young master are all as pure as ice and as pure as jade. This young lady is very mighty. I'm most likely related to Su Yin. The black-clothed old man didn't give up and said viciously, Fellow Taoists, you worry too much. The three old men said in unison, the Tongtian young master is famous. He's not someone who could be compared to a chicken. Don't talk nonsense. Be careful not to get into trouble. The powerhouses left behind by the Cien people were furious, but there was nothing they could do. With the Tongtian bridge here, they didn't dare to use force at all. The golden maiden glanced at the dark space-time and stepped onto the Tongtian bridge. In the vast darkness, Su Yin had been dead for more than a year. On this day, a ball of blazing light was faintly burning in the darkness. 10 colors of matter were fighting with each other, like 10 supreme paths of heavenly ascension. But something amazing happened. A layer of dark light suppressed the 9-color blood. However, the 9-color blood was blending under the pressure and gradually fusing together,